beginning of 2024.
Oh.
Yeah.
What date?
That'll be
Like
that'll be a
September.
thing.
When it's September.
Oh, just so you know, we're
Oh,
live.
I posted the picture.
Bro, let me know the date.
Sorry,
because
sorry.
I will be in.
Bukake.
It is what? It's the 8th.
It's something like that. I don't know.
So
There's
it's
a
the
picture
second
somewhere.
weekend in
It's the
September.
8th of. Wait, it's September.
It's
Yeah,
September.
it's September.
Unless Jared looked at it wrong.
It's September.
September 8th. Yeah, it's September 8th through the 10th.
So it's the second weekend. I will not be in town that weekend.
Okay.
And I will be in town the weekend before that.
Okay. Hey, real fast, just so I can make sure it works. Are you guys able to access the VTT, and is it loading up to like
VTT?
the map?
I see the
yeah,
giant map
it did load
in
for me.
explicit detail, showing how there are a bunch of red lines around common folk, almost like we're about to get arrested or something.
No, I just want to know, can you see the tokens for all the NPCs that you guys regularly interact with?
There's too many
I just
for you
refreshed,
to
so
see.
now
Yes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1.
The answer is yes.
Now
know
I
that
can
you
see
guys
everything.
can't see them all at once.
There's 3 at the bottom,
answer is
4 to the
yes.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
yeah, they're
checking.
good.
How many are we supposed to be seeing?
I mean, okay. You should
5,
see.
10,
Okay, hold on.
15,
Oh, I
16.
found some more.
Christ alive. You should see Albina,
21.
you, Smith, and Iluna, as well as the token for Galio Elibro at the tower in the center. Okay?
Yep.
Me
Yeah.
and Seftis are down at the tavern with Dugan. And then Barthen, Ander, Thistle, and Sadie are at the red house on the right. Just north of that is Griselda Copperrot and Lenine.
Oh, okay.
That is Lenine. Then Aubrey
Oh, yeah, I didn't
Silverspun
zoom in.
is to the north of where you guys are. And then to the left at the Temple of Lathander is Marigold, Adabra, Tolbin, Zaline, and Dead Maggie.
Dead man.
Dead
And then
man.
Is that Asdalor on the outside?
Oh, yes. Asdalor should be right outside the gate because he's
Entrance?
actually,
Okay.
ever since he got there, he's meeting up with the guard and going to start setting a perimeter with the hunters in the area.
Well, that sucks.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that this map was working because I had to scale it down from where it was before because you guys couldn't see it because of how high quality it was and like how high resolution it was. So I actually had to like cut it down by down to a quarter of its size. So I just wanted to make sure that you could access it because this will be the map that will be used from now on when you guys are in Lylon and like going around, and this is the one that I will be updating because as you can see, if you look at Aubrey's shop up there, you will notice that if we go into this map, it is yes, it is the exact same map but fully blown up and the interior.
Wow.
So, because that is by design how it's supposed to be.
I didn't see anything.
Well, that's because you suck.
You're not wrong, and you're not right.
Okay. But you should be on the main map of Lylon right now anyway. And then we're going to move over to the House of Thalavar.
Yay.
Salad bar, my man.
Yep, because this is the whole map. But as I have said a few times, these are the maps from Morvold Press, and he has the entire Lylon map with interiors for a lot of the buildings. So I can also take his maps and go into Wonder Draft and Dungeon Draft and actually edit buildings on the inside.
Hell yeah.
Not that I necessarily need all of them, but I have that opportunity Plus, you guys will also be getting a base of operations, you know, come the time skip. So I know that has been something that Aaron has been wanting to do for a while because he likes playing with so
I wanted to make him a little house.
so there will be an opportunity to do that come in time, but like I said, that's the new map we're going to use because I actually now got it small enough.
This suggests we get to stay in Lylon
for a bit. I mean,
for a bit.
I'll be real with you. You guys will be leaving Lylon shortly because you kind of have to deal with the whole dead Maggie situation. But coming back after the time skip, there will be time to go in and out of Lylon and allow Lylon to be the new like central hub area. Plus I have plenty of adventures to come because I've been prepping that stuff over the past couple weeks. So but a very quick recap from last session, because mostly what last session was just shopping. So you guys went up and you talked to Aubrey Silverspun at his shop, talked about some of the peculiarities that he has, and you guys also discussed where everyone stands with the whole you situation because Griselda and Lenine are going to discuss that. But you guys went over to Aubrey's shop. There you bought a handful of items, such as all 4 of the potions of healing that were available there. Excuse me. 2 vials of dragon blood. Or sorry, Iluna sold 2 vials of dragon blood. Albina asked about the the orc medallion that you guys got back at the Umbridge Hill fight against the orcs. You sold the trident of Fish Command, the +1 bow, a regular bow, the medallion of the orc war chief. And
did I sell the regular bow? Because I thought they said you'd be better off selling that to somebody else.
But you didn't. He bought it. And
did
then
you?
He said, I'm going to resell it.
Wait.
Aubrey said he's going to resell that bow.
I think you did sell it to him.
I don't think I sold the regular bow, just the +1.
Okay, that's fine. Well,
I still have the longbow in my possession, just
that's
not
fine.
The +1.
I'm okay with that. I'm cool.
So
that's the amount of money that you guys have right now. 50 gold for that longbow is not gonna make or break my mind. So. Seftis asked about selling half-plate armor, and Aubrey suggested selling it to Griselda. On top of that, there were some new peculiarities that were available. The Ring of Chameleon, which changes color to match the wearer's mood, which is unfortunately wrong most of the time, which Seftis bought. The Singing Spoon, which whenever dipped into any kind of liquid and spun around, makes the sound of a sea shanty. The Far-Sided Monocle, which is when worn, it allows you to read or see things from very far away, but everything up close becomes blurry, including in your other eye. An Endless Inkwell, which is always shaded some shade of pink, which you bought. The Quill of the Grammarmancer, which will correct any grammatical errors that you make with it, but it always writes in excessively ornate and flowery language, which you bought that as well. The Evercold Teacup, which any liquid becomes pleasantly chilled, which you also bought that, and a pocket-sized sundial, which can fit in your pocket and is enchanted to work even when indoors. However, it only tells the time accurately in the time zone it was created, which it is 8.5 hours ahead. All right. So after this, Iluna brought out the serialized journal of medicine known as Hassa. Aubrey told her that these books are often made by very powerful mages that impart their soul into the books. Aubrey knew of somebody that was in possession of one of these. It was a book that provides names, locations, and whereabouts of people. This is one of the Lords of Luskin who has that. And Hassa doesn't know anything about his own past or history. It did reveal though that it thinks Iggy has some, you know, romantic feelings for Iluna, but that kind of weirded Iggy out, and so he stepped outside. And Hassa said that he could provide details for a love potion. So after this, you, Albina, Smith and Iggy stepped outside because me was already out there, and they were talking about the fact that Albina's name had been removed from the book. She actually used the Endless Ink and the Quill of the Grammarmancer to try and sign her name in the book. When that happened and she signed her name there, it instantly burned out of the book, and she got a grievous wound on her chest that soaked all of her clothes in blood.
And what was it that you tried to do to me? Clean me up, but it didn't clean me?
Yeah.
He tried casting prestidigitation on you to clean the blood, but it did not work. But using the decanter of endless water to wash it off did. So it's almost as if magical influence into this is not doing anything. So inside, me talked a little bit more about what happened, and during that time, me ended up talking about the sapphire mind ring that he got, the bone cutter mace, the elemental gem, the hat of alacrity, and the vitality shroud. Bone cutter was a down payment for some of me's future business endeavors. And me kept the gem of the water elemental, selling both hats for 400 gold, and suggested Marigold can help get the ring off. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so the ring in question, which one was that? That was a sapphire ring. That he could help him get the wait, why do I have it there? What he suggests Marigold can help me get the ring off but not remove the curse.
That's what ended up happening. The curse was still on the ring when he removed it. It was weird. At least that's how it seemed to be. Because me said he would put it back in his bag, but not.
Yeah. He cast remove curse on me, so me is no longer cursed.
Yeah.
But the ring, yes. Okay, I'm sorry.
It was confusing as it played out, and
the way that I read this was that Marigold got the ring physically off of him, but could not remove the curse off of me. No, yes. Me is no longer cursed. The ring still has a curse on it. So he also told him about Emberlost and the promised to introduce him to Aubrey. Marigold was agreed to remove the curse on me for 55 gold. And so after that, the party decided that me was going to head over to the tavern to meet up with Cephas and have some drinks, and the rest of the party was going to head up to speak with Gallio Elibro up at the house of Thalavar. So that is where we are going to pick up.
Thing.
Yeah.
You learned that you is afraid of the talking book. No real reason why, and then that he's a changeling, because Aubrey just kind of spilled that out. Which may or may not have upset you, but
What would upset you?
that Aubrey said you were changeling, and the
Yeah.
rest of the party didn't know specifically. They just had some guesses.
I don't even know if they had guesses.
Well,
I mean,
we could
I'm
guess
sure they
it was
guessed.
just magic or something was going on.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys head into the House of Thalavar. It's still, for the most part, in not great conditions. But you can see that I know it's not fully represented here on the map. A lot of the doors have been put in place. There's a lot more rubble that has been taken out. The table and chairs that are in the main room are now actually cleaned up, fixed up, and able to kind of seat people around it. But you can hear Galio going about his business in his small study chamber off to the left.
Is Albina there? Because I think she asked if Iluna would mind. I mean, that she may have changed her mind, but she said she wanted to go rest and consider.
Oh, did she?
I mean,
And this was like after, at the very end,
Oh, okay.
out of the game. I'd
Oh, yeah,
mentioned
that's
that Albina might want to go try to rest.
I mean,
sure
it's
thing.
up to her if she decided.
No,
to
yeah,
change
yeah,
her
that's
mind.
fine. I didn't know if I could because I know I had mentioned it after and everything. So
Well,
Then Albina will be down at the tavern with Seftis and me.
I mean, you could change your mind, maybe part way. You
no, that's okay.
I also forgot to add Iggy.
She's leaving you guys to it.
All
I mean,
right.
Smith and Albina and Iggy, you probably won't do anything.
All right. So, yeah, you guys walk into the House of Thalavar, the large wizardly tower in the center of Lylon. You can hear the sound of somebody rummaging about up in Galio's main study.
We didn't knock. Man, we just walked in.
I mean,
Hell yeah, we own the place.
I guess I would knock on his study then if we didn't knock at the main door.
there's a bit of rustling of some papers, and stepping out, you see Galio. He says, he looks at all of you and says, "Oh, greetings. I see that you have made your travels safe. Quite an entrance you brought in with those strange horses hailing your carriages."
They are.
Oh, sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry about that. That was Kaylee.
It's alright.
All right. So you were saying?
Yeah, I just came by. Well, I wanted to just say that we were here and see how you were doing. I wanted to show you a book I found.
Am I in the room at this time?
Yes, she. Yes, you are.
But,
As I hear her say this, I'm like, you give me 2 minutes to walk outside, and then come get me when you put that damn thing away, and I'm going outside.
Iggy grabs you by your wrist cuffs. Says, all right, big guy, relax. Takes you outside.
But yeah, I wanted to show you this book I found. I've been sharing it with whoever I know who seems to have magic knowledge or might be able to tell me anything about it. And I just wanted to see how you were doing. It looks like The tower's coming along, no more ghosts and stuff.
Well, the spirit of Thalavar has obviously been laid to rest. I still feel his presence here and there.
Have you made some headway into his notes and writings?
Unfortunately, not as much as I would hope. I am still struggling to understand a lot of his meanings. It is beyond some of my comprehension at times, but to know at least the general idea of the information that is presented here, it is phenomenal that he has gifted me with this insight. But it does take a toll to try and get into the mind of one such as great as him.
I can only imagine. And Sadie, she's still studying alongside you?
Yes, Sadie is doing wonderful. She is a quick developing scribe. She will seemingly surpass me in my own achievements one day, but well, it is, I believe, her greatest trait. Her, how to say, her attention span oftentimes is her undoing. She is incredibly intelligent, but is often drawn away from her work by the most fleeting of things. She
I don't mean
finds
to cut you
herself...
off. I will be right back.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. But she is getting better at it.
Well, she is still quite young. Maybe that'll settle in time.
That is my hope.
introduced her to some friends from Phandalin, some young folks. She seemed pretty happy to have people closer to her age to hang out with.
I am quite sure that she will find that amicable, and it will be good for her to spend some time with folks of her own age.
Hopefully. She's not here right now, I guess. She's probably still helping my friends.
She came by not too long ago and said that she was helping some of the Phandalinians to integrate. I presume that she has made a friend.
Yeah. Her and her brother. Maybe some others. Anyhow, I found this book. Be warned, it has medical advice, but other opinions. And she'll carefully open it up. It talked. I not come across anything, and I figured someone like you, being a scribe, be interested in a book. Is he a scribe? Did I make that
Yes, yes.
up?
Okay.
But I would show him.
All right. So you pull out Hassa, and as you do, you hear it open up, and it says, "Hello, my name is Hassa, the Serialized Journal of Medicine. How may I be of service of you today? Do you have any wounds, ailments, or afflictions?"
I wanted to introduce you to my friend who's a scribe, a great wizard and scribe. You're a book after all, an unwritten one.
Okay, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The book sort of pauses and says, "Hello, it is great to meet you. My name is Hassa, Serialized Journal of Medicine. May I be of assistance to you?" And you see Galio looks down at this book, says, "Interesting. Quite interesting. And where exactly did you say that you found this?"
Rescuing a bard.
Hmm.
On an undead ship. You'll probably see it when it comes by. The fishers are aware.
I see. Interesting.
It's also sentient, so that's exciting.
That would be quite interesting. Now,
But yeah, I found it there. It had a previous signature in it, and then that disappeared, and I could sign it. And I've been just trying to see if anyone had any thoughts, and you might be curious.
well, I have heard of a number of books across these lands that have been given sentience by powerful mages. It is not unheard of. Ones that can impart knowledge of many kinds. Ones that can even foresee the future or garner insight into the wild and unimaginable.
Mm.
Are you
And
simply asking for my opinion on this, or would you like to have you come seeking my services?
what services?
Well, the spell that I could cast upon this book to garner some information of it, if it were to have any.
No, I
Are you familiar with the legend lore spell?
no, I don't think I've heard of that. I mean, we stopped at Aubrey's shop first. I mean, he's into oddities and so forth.
Yes, Aubrey
And
is a purveyor of many oddities, but his limitation on lore is my limitations on how well I can bench press.
It's very specific. No, I didn't ask him about lore. I just wanted to know if he's seen anything like it, and he's always curious about the stuff we find, so
Yes.
he seemed
Yeah.
to appreciate knowing I've got this. Certainly, is that something you'd want me to pay for?
Well, it is not a service that I offer for free, but being that you did help clear my tower of a malign spirit, I would be willing to lower the cost.
Okay.
Normally, it would be 400 gold, but I would be willing to settle for 250.
Ooh.
And he gestures over to Smith and says, I am sure that your mage companion here would be able to learn it in time as well. But
Well,
understand that I would be fronting you. I am covering the cost of the ivory strips that must be used during the ritual.
let me think upon that. I'm not sure what I would learn. But did you have any I mean, in addition to medicine, it suggested it could help me learn other potions, which was surprising.
That does not surprise me. The process by which somebody is to implant their knowledge into a book, for it to be spoken for endless years, is not a simple one. It is an arduous process of magical transference, and it is possible that whoever penned this journal is no longer of this world. And if that is the case, they may have imparted their entirety into it.
That's what Aubrey suggested. They impart themselves somehow into an object. And that's
Yes.
why it's sentient.
Well,
I
there
think
is...
I really want to ask Smith his opinion on learning more. If it's worth the money, since he's right here. Smith.
What can that spell tell us exactly?
Do you
I'm not too
know?
familiar with it.
The legend lore spell will allow me to gain insight into the significant lore about this book. Its tales, forgotten stories, or information that may not be known to the world at wide. If it is bound to the name of a important sage or cleric or medical mage, then that information may be garnered. Now, I will be forward. The information gained through the spell may not have any immediate benefit to you, but information gained is always a benefit in my eyes.
I do agree with that. I'm highly curious, but it's party funds.
I'd be
don't
more
have-
interested. Oh, sorry.
No, you can definitely. I was done.
I'd be more interested to get information on one of our polymorph items. See if we can maybe get more information on the wizard that casted the spell. I don't know if there's anything further to learn from that, though.
If you are curious, if you have an object, it definitely does strengthen the connection. If there is a name that you have or a place, then to know that would allow me to strengthen the information pool that I am able to gather.
You mean the bell, the collar specifically?
Fucking you sitting outside in the rain coughing.
Training.
Precipitation. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
No, actually it is on this day in game mild. About
Wow.
60 degrees.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
Minor illusion umbrella.
Jackass.
Still gets wet. I like the way you think, Smith, about this collar or bell or whatever.
Well, if it is something that you would like done, bring it to me in time, and again, I will honor my price valuation of 250 gold.
I mean, I have it right here.
Whoa. Is that for each item?
You're not
Out of
here.
character, sorry. I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, it is.
What the heck?
It costs
That's
a
what
lot
this
for
is.
Magic is expensive.
Magic
What
is
the heck?
the lesson of the
Alright.
day.
I'm gonna mute myself and go back to eating. I just didn't know that was each item.
Oh, also, so you
What?
know, Lucas,
Yes.
I'm outside learning more about Iggy and his life and his background and stuff. So
Yeah, you guys can hear from outside, just like Iggy's like, yeah, so
we're talking in Goblin.
You guys hear from outside. As I believe neither of you can speak Goblin.
No, you never know. The wizard could though.
That's why I checked.
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, I think what Albina is the only one.
Albina, me, you,
Oh yeah, Albina, me, yeah.
and Seftus. Literally, the two wizards are the only ones that don't know Goblin. The funny thing is I always like think of Smith because like wizards often have a ton of languages, and I always look at his and I'm like, well, he doesn't have that many. And then I remember Primordial breaks down into 4 different languages, into Arin, Aquin, Terran, and Ignan.
You said wizards. You meant elves, I think. I mean,
No, I
didn't know
definitely
everything
said. I said the 2 elves don't know Goblin, but then I said
wizard.
about. Did
You
I?
said the 2 wizards.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
And
I was like, wait, did she
I
change
didn't know
class or wait,
everything
what?
was.
Yeah, my bad. My
Anyhow,
bad.
yeah, I
My-
do have several languages, but not that one.
Yeah.
This would have to come out of party funds, and we can't ask the rest of our party, so maybe we'll hold off for a second, unless Smith thinks we can. We'll just swing it.
Let's hold off for now.
We appreciate your offer. And I guess I'll just shut the book since he's kept its mouth shut. I also we want to know if you have something Aubrey said you might have called cuffs of spell sealing.
I know of such things. It is not something that I keep readily available on me, but it is something that I could send word for at Neverwinter if you are in need of such an item. They are used often more with the apprehension of mages in Neverwinter when one is not to be trusted with even the simplest of incantations.
Yep, that's what Aubrey kind of suggested.
See if you can get a discount, Stacy.
How much would that? He said they're very expensive to buy, but how much would that cost us to borrow? I'm sorry, I don't know how the system works.
If there is a need for them, that is, then they can be acquired for your own use, but to put a price on such an item would be upwards of 1,000 gold, if not more. Depending on the situation, the severity of it.
But I'm sorry. There's not just a flat. There's not a
1,000.
flat.
Are you
flat-
looking to purchase these?
We might be.
Is that the loan? I think.
Yeah, it was like a deposit. Aubrey said a deposit might be necessary.
So
he
you are
seemed to think it was a flat deposit rate, but maybe I misunderstood.
If Aubrey has spun a tale of some deal that he is able to make, then you must speak to the elf. You may also wish to take this matter to Lady Griselda, as her connections with Neverwinter, and depending on the severity of the need of such an item, may require her approval and may be funded or may be provided by such a need.
Okay. I felt like Aubrey was suggesting something else, but we'll speak with the Griselda, I guess. I think that's everything. I don't know if Smith wanted to talk about anything specific.
Nope.
But thank you for your time, and we'll consider your generous offer for the reduced cost for your lore spell. I'm sorry, I forgot the specific name.
Legend lore.
Of course.
No.
Let Sadie know I stopped by.
Yes, thank you. I am curious, though, of do you and your comrades have any business to attend to here around town?
We were at Aubrey's, so that was for some shopping. We'll have to meet with Griselda soon.
See.
And we wanted to just help everyone get settled. We'll probably be leaving shortly.
I understand. And are you going to be returning within a sizable amount of time?
Our trip will probably take several days. The better part of a 10-day, I think.
I understand. I have been looking for some aid in a matter. Possibly when you return, I might requisition your services.
Might I ask what? For some details? So I can mention it to the party?
Is this where I walk in?
You can walk back in.
All right.
Oh.
I walk back in and be like, I just walk back in.
Oh, okay.
I walk back in like what up,
Holding your-
everyone?
Just be
I'm
like,
back.
walk back in.
Umbrella open.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
I fucking love that. It's like I walk back in with my dick hanging out. Never mind, scratch that dick part. I just walk back in.
Minor illusion that. Won't.
Yes, you said you might want some assistance with something.
Yes. There is a keep to the south along the high road. It is known as Inarav's Tower. I have been doing some studies, and I learned that it originally, the original owner of it, the Mage Royal of Uth Tower, Inarav, he used the tower as his base, and over time experimented on magical beasts and monsters in the wild. Unfortunately, disappearing after a point. But in my studies, I have realized there may be information there to further my knowledge, to further my continued studies. And a burning gesture, or a burning desire and curiosity to investigate such a place led me to realize that it is currently occupied by a group of bandits known as the Chimera Crew.
Yeah, sorry, we don't mess with those.
Chimera?
Yes, I do not know their origins. I do not know what it is that they are doing there. But the unfortunate reality that has been revealed in this endeavor is that there are a number of undead that have been seen around that area. Now, the information there is paramount to my continued research, and I am looking for strong enough adventurers that might be able to handle such a matter. Again, it is... Yes.
They experimented on magical beasts?
Mind you, those experiments occurred hundreds of years ago. But the... Yes. Oh.
I was trying to think if it was metagaming or not.
Okay.
Like what Thal's
Salad bar?
yeah, what he did.
Thalavar?
Thalavar.
Well,
But I don't know.
I mean, you literally...
I don't know how much that we knew. How much of that was told to us? I think most of it.
I mean, he told you guys that Thalavar experimented on creatures from other realms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the magic ended. And it
Yes.
affected everything.
And then the spell plague hit. But keep in mind, that was like a short 100 years ago. That wasn't 800 years ago.
Oh, well, I don't think he got to that part, that it was hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Okay.
Yep. But again, if you are currently occupied, I understand.
Well, I can let our group know, and we can. How far away is this map? I think she has a map, because Zash had a map.
Zash had a map, I remember that.
You has a map too, right?
Does he?
I know you always seems to have a map.
I think you has that one weird map.
Weird map.
Oh, you have yeah, you does have the
weird map. I can't think of what it is other than it's like, you know all this stuff within X amount of feet.
Well, that was the newest map.
It's the map of many places.
We have brought out
which
maps to be like,
I'm looking at your character sheet and you don't have it on there. I know you have it.
Because I don't think we added it because I was sick and my internet.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna add it right now to your cartographer's map case.
Sweet.
Yeah. Keep in mind that shows you an area of 5 miles. Gallia will say it is approximately a 2-day travel south. It is located just east of the Mire of Dead Men.
Oh. So a couple of days out.
Yes.
And back.
Just for reference, if you look at the chat there.
She would also ask him to write down the important names that he said, Mage, Royal of wherever, and the crew.
You will write it down in his flowery goodness of magnificent handwriting now.
Sweet.
And change the color of the ink too.
Pink.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, and the crew occupied by bandits called them.
Yes, they call themselves the Chimera Crew. I sent a messenger down there. Not a messenger, but one of the scouts from town down there, and well,
are they?
Yes.
Mixed creature? I'm just thinking the word chimera.
They, from what I,
I
was, from
I was
what
gonna
I
ask, can I roll a check to see if I know what that is?
to know what a chimera is.
Yes.
I mean, I will say that the knowledge of chimeras is known. Like
the generic mixed.
yeah,
Yeah, the
large,
lion, goat.
Yeah, large fire-breathing, dragon, goat, lion-headed creatures. I would say that there is that the tales of chimera have been known to the world.
Even if you're not within one.
We can get Albina a pet.
Yeah. But the specific knowledge of why this is called the Chimera Crew is not known to him.
Okay.
Oh.
So that seems an interesting bit of information to get for you. Is there something specific you were after? Or you just wanted it cleaned out so you could...
Preferably cleaned out so that I may have my own investigation. But if you are not able to clear it out, the research that Inarav was working on, it is said that he, like Thalavar, was able to traverse the plains. And I am seeking information on what notes he may have on that.
Traversing the plains.
Mm-hmm.
Seems risky business, but doesn't mean I'm not curious.
It is.
Is that information I would know?
What specifically?
Traversing plains. I'm assuming not.
I know that was one thing that Smith had been studying. Do me a favor, Smith. Roll an Arcana check.
I see how it is.
I was gonna say I would probably look to Smith if he had any questions or thoughts or inputs at this point.
So I'm gonna say, Smith, that through most of your travels, you have gained some knowledge about the various planes, but never really into practicing of traversing them. Or you're not. You also might not be sure what specific information Galio is looking into.
But he said he was looking to get information from Salazar. Is that his name?
From the Tower of Inavar or Inarav. The House of Thalavar, where you guys currently are, is the mage tower that he has been trying to study the works and words that Thalavar did, and Thalavar was the one who basically was pulling creatures from other realms and experimenting on them, and keeping them in these locked cages. But whenever the spell plague occurred and all magic basically went, cuff up, he nobody knows what happened to him. A lot of people in town were turned to stone. The monstrous creatures from other realms were just kind of set loose and set free. And so Galio is here trying to rebuild the tower, and he's studying some of the works that Thalavar did.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I'm going to send message to...
Oh, my back.
Aluna. How do you say Stacy's character's name?
Iluna?
Iluna.
I'm gonna send a message to Iluna and be like, "Hey, let me negotiate price for when we do for when we do and or accept this.
I guess she'll look at him indicating. But she would also just say it. Okay, I think Iluna was done with her questions or curiosities, so she would ask if Smith or you wanted to ask or do anything.
I kind of need to know here, Aaron.
Yeah.
Prior to this, you have your hands bound.
Do I?
Did you not have to have your hands bound when you were taken through town?
I thought we took them off while we were with him.
Yeah,
because
I
they
thought
they kind of looked at it, and then Albina
with
said
him.
she would
Okay.
essentially
Yeah,
have
because
to.
Okay.
whenever we went into Aubrey's shop, he was unbound, moving his hands.
I know when
talking
he
with
went
Aubrey.
into Aubrey's shop, you guys unbound him. I didn't know if you had bound him again.
I didn't think I was bound up.
Okay, so
No.
here's my other question. Are you using your orb to cast this since you do not have your staff of power? Because message is verbal, somatic, and material.
Yes.
Cool. When you do this, Galio looks at you, points a finger at you, and messages you, what you wish to say to your comrades, you can say out loud to me. There will be no speaking behind my back.
God damn it.
You
He
are in
puts
front
the
of a
orb
wizard
back into his
after all.
pocket and is like, I'm sorry.
I'm like, you're casting message, and my mind first went to like, how are you doing the somatic movements? But then it's like, you have an orb in your inventory, so like, you pull out your orb and you point to Iluna while standing in front of a literal mage who is like on par with the level of spells that you guys can cast, considering Legend Lore is a 5th level spell.
It's like, I just wanted to tell her hair looked cute. Jeez.
Anyway, yeah, so he when you do that, he does point at you and say that.
And he just puts his head down and shame like, I'm sorry.
Says, it is all right, but again, I wish that you would speak your mind if you have something to say.
Yes, if you wanted to. Otherwise,
I was just
private
telling
matters can be held
my friend
private.
that when we negotiate price that I'm the one to talk to you.
And I have said that my price for such a spell is normally 400 gold. But I am being kind as you have helped clear out my tower
What spell?
for the Legend
Oh.
Lore spell.
He wasn't in there.
I know nothing of that. I was talking about
Yeah, he
the
wouldn't
adventure
know.
that you wanted to hire us for.
Oh, then
You
my
did
apologies.
Metagaming.
You did a
Motherfucker.
metagamey thing.
I'm also playing it from the perspective of Galio, assuming talking about the negotiated price from before.
He wasn't in the room.
I know, but he doesn't care if you were in the room or not. For all he knows, you can hear him outside.
He didn't. If it involved the book, he doesn't want anything to deal with it.
That's not his business. He doesn't care why you stepped outside when the book was pulled out.
Well, he had said, if you're pulling that damn thing out, I don't want to hear it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
fine.
Iluna would just be like, he offered to help with the book. But yes.
Oh, so that damn book burned for all I care.
Brings up a good point. We're putting ourselves in danger.
This is true. I am willing to pay. The reward that I am willing to provide for the information that you are able to gain me, I'm valuing at 1,000 gold.
A person? Deal.
Not 1,000 gold a person.
I just finished your sentence for you.
Then I will unfortunately have to seek other others aid in the matter if your prices are so outrageous.
That's very high. 1,000 per person. We'll keep your
God damn it.
price in mind.
There are 6 of you in your cavalcade, correct?
Mm-mm. She would look at Iggy. I assume Iggy came back in. He's not hanging out by
Yeah.
Yeah.
himself.
7.
mean, 7.
Then
Yep.
7, yeah. I was like, wait, is there 7 of us?
There are.
There is.
When I shared into a D&D Facebook group, somebody's like, there are 7, and I have to tell them about Iggy. Come watch Phandalin 5.
Come watch P5, y'all.
then I will be willing to raise it to 165 gold apiece, bringing the total to 1,155 gold.
Oh.
But that is the only offer I am willing to make. I am not seeking to negotiate this further, as you are not I assume not partaking in such an endeavor at this moment as we speak anyway.
Well,
Correct.
currently no, but we'll talk with the party.
All right, just to double check, the reward is for the information, right? What information are you looking for?
Well, the reward is for recovering any pertinent information on Inavar's studies on extraplanar travel and discoveries.
What if the information we bring back is more valuable than what you expected? What would happen in that case? Theoretically.
The value that I have placed upon it is with the expectation that you are able to clear out the tower. The hope is that I may myself venture there after this and garner all information that is to be had there. I cannot speak to the value of the information that I do not have, but the access to it is more what I am seeking.
You
So you're
leaving?
Paying us to clear out a cat dungeon
tower.
Yes, I am asking you to rid the Tower of Inrav of its current occupants.
By any means necessary.
How you accomplish your goals and how I accomplish mine are our own businesses. The most that I would ask is that you would show the same regard as I had asked when you ventured upstairs to deal with the spirit of Thalavar, and that you will refrain from anything that may disturb or destroy any of the research and study that I may find.
So keep the fire to a minimum.
Yes, these are ancient artifacts, and they are priceless, truthfully. But I must, if I am to believe the information I have gained that might be there, then this would be an immeasurable help.
You would leave Lylon?
I would not leave Lylon, for this is where I am conducting my research. But should I find the opportunity to head down there, with the aid of someone such as Sadie to gather up as much of the documents as I could, provided that they are able to garner the information that I believe they hold, then I will bring them back here and continue my research.
It's a bit dangerous down there.
That it is. That it is.
That's what she said.
I hope we're gonna make a group decision.
Yeah, there's definitely. I would just. Well, out of game, yes, we will make a group decision. Just trying to gather information, and Smith had some good questions. You had some good points.
Ooh. Oh.
Wait, say that again? About you?
I said you had some good points.
Okay. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly and it was recorded twice.
Oh.
His-
So now that if we need to come back to this, it has
Wait a
been
minute,
said
you've
twice.
had some good points in the past.
But I've said that multiple times about you. I said you has.
No, I know.
I
Now a
always
third time, I
liked.
said it. I said it for you as well.
I always like to use input, especially for combat. Anyhow.
Never takes you as input for combat. I'll
What?
tell you
That's
that right
what.
now.
I'm gonna
You're
fire
the
about
one who.
myself here.
Yeah.
You was the one who set us on our 3-point attack at the ship. I thought it was pretty.
Well, yeah.
oh.
It worked, seemingly.
Man, look at you
Anyhow.
guys building yourselves up like you're a team or something.
How dare.
Keep up the good work,
Dare
team.
Anyhow.
Did Albina make it safely to wherever that she was heading back to the tavern?
Yes. Yes.
I
So-
think we are. I don't know, unless you.
They find
wanted
Albina
to
kidnapped
say
by
or
some
do
orcs.
something.
Who
Mhm.
knows?
On her way to the tavern, man. Yes, we'll consider your offer to clear out another tower.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Now, I must be back to my studies. I appreciate your visit, and I appreciate your consideration in exploring such a matter.
Yes, it was nice catching up, and no, I'll consider your offer for learning more about this. She will just touch where the book is and not actually bring it back out.
Okay.
Before you has a little bit of a
Has a conniption.
runs away, runs away again.
Okay. So with that, where are you guys heading?
To figure out a quiet place to burn that book.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Totally.
I feel like
He wants
as
that
we walk,
book gone as much as he wants that dragon egg.
I would, I don't know, as we were leaving, she would just kind of start to say to you, like, what's up with the book? To see if he would remotely say anything.
He just takes a deep breath, snaps his finger, and just like flickering light of fire comes out of his hand. We don't want to talk about that. It brings up
Okay.
pain and bad memories.
He says we
Okay.
don't want to talk about that. Who's we?
He means him and himself.
Me, myself, and I. You know, the
I's
other
dead.
captain.
Oh my.
I is dead.
I know. That's why I said me, myself, and I, the other pirate captains.
She would say, okay,
Oh shit.
your reaction was just intense so far. Everyone else seems curious.
Well, if you had a book that killed 12 of your mates, you'd be in the same boat as I.
Quite possibly. I'm sorry you had that experience. But
Get it? Boat, I. He's dead.
Your
Anyhow.
pirate captain's dead.
I feel like Iluna would try and seek out Thistle and Sadie and so forth, just to make sure they're doing all right before heading to the tavern, because once at the tavern, she needs to tell everyone about this.
Do I still have my alcohol on me? Or did y'all
No.
take that away that too?
Smith holds it.
Yeah,
just
Smith
so
has
you can
that.
see it.
I'm gonna talk to Smith to see if I can get my alcohol back.
Oh. No, I guess Iluna was considering trying to find Asdalor regarding used staff, but I guess we're gonna wait until we're summoned.
Yeah. For the record, did say she was weirded out by the book and didn't trust it. Okay.
Oh. I just remembered. Iluna would want to visit Marigold and wait, did she already? She didn't visit him yet.
Nope, I don't know what.
No, not for anything important, just to see his bloom crawler. So it doesn't have to be like important played out type of thing.
Okay.
I want to see your bloom crawler.
Because Albina should have one, or not Albina. Adabra should be with him, maybe.
Okay.
But
all right. So, as you guys, I want to say this before you fully leave the house of Thalabar. So, as you guys are walking out, contemplating the various things that you're gonna go and do, Smith, you hear a voice in your head. It is Gallio's voice. And you hear him say, "Come back at midnight, alone.
oh no.
I have information for you."
I'll look at him.
And then there's a pause, and he says, "From an old friend."
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, cool. So,
All right.
right.
So Smith and Iggy, where are the two of you going right now? Because it is about 8 o'clock in game.
Everyone's going to the tavern. Is that right?
I think Iluna was going to look for Sadie and Thistle and them, but everyone else except for you is already at the tavern.
Okay. Yeah, I'll head to the tavern.
Okay.
And plan to head back around midnight
Well, yeah.
by myself.
Nice.
Very intrigued.
Where's Smith going at midnight?
Nowhere.
Don't worry about it. All right. So figuring that you is going down there as well. So I'm gonna kind of cut back a little bit to when to when Cephas and Cephas, me, and Albina had arrived there. Granted, Cephas had been there a bit longer, but so when the three of you are there, Cephas, you were there just a little bit beforehand. There's a fairly big commotion going on in the tavern down at the temporary sign inn, as a lot of the folks from Phandalin don't have established places right now. So there has kind of been an impromptu setup in the town square for some of the residents there to allow some of the Phandalinians to stay with them for a small period of time while they get things rebuilt. But when you guys are there, there's a bit of a, you know, a kind of duality with this sense here. You can see that there are some people here from Lylon that are pretty cheery and upbeat about having some new folks around, and they're pretty excited because it means that there's extra hands around to help with stuff. But you can see that there are some people that are a little more disgruntled about this. And while this is going on, you see that Dugan, the owner of the temporary sign-in, he kind of comes forward, says, all right, everybody, relax. Ain't gonna be no fighting today. Today's gonna be a good day. He calls over and says, calls over to, you see this burly, like wide-shouldered dwarf that is standing next to him. He says, my old pal from down Waterdeep has just arrived in town this morning. My good friend Lorik. He's an old blacksmith. He's gonna be setting up shop here in town. Now, to bring everybody's spirits up, who thinks they can beat my friend in an arm wrestling contest?
You goes to wait.
You is not there.
He's not there. He's not there. Damn
Yes.
it. 'Cause I thought it was going to be a drinking competition.
Me elbow Cephas and goes, hey, you want to make a quick buck? Obviously, I'll bet on you, but while they're distracted, we can see what other money they have.
I'm open to the wager.
You see this large burly dwarf walking up next to Dugan. Let me pull up the picture I had here. So he has a big, like, orange red beard. He has these rippling muscles, and you can see that he has calloused fingers, indicative of that of a well-seasoned blacksmith. When he steps up next to Dugan, he looks over at you, Cephas, and says, oh, now that's a challenge. Says, but I think I can take you. How about it?
Hear that? He's challenging you.
Welcome to challenge. You're a formidable-looking flesh bucket.
You're a formidable-looking flesh.
And when I'm done with you, boy, I'll set you up right inside of me shop. I could use you for a right old furnace. I'll make a nice one out of you.
God. I'm just wondering if that ring shares
So
Cephas's emotion.
the ring is baby blue. So you see this dwarf go over to a cart he has, and he picks up an anvil that he has sitting on it and just hoofs it up and walks over in front of the tavern and sets it on the ground. As he does, there's this kind of ripple in the dirt and dust that just kind of spills out everywhere. You can see a lot of the townsfolk are like watching in awe as he's moving this, and then he pulls up a chair and sits down in front of it and puts his arm up waiting for you.
While he's reaching for his anvil, Albina's going to be like, hey, after you guys are done with this, I might like to talk to you about getting a sword or few, or a shield or something.
Me will look at her and nod his head as he's climbing up Septus's back because of how small he is, and like doing the whole massaging his shoulders, even though it's all metallic and a machine. He's like, "You got this, man. I believe in you. You can take him down." Whatever you do, don't drink the ale. We don't need him roasting alive.
He he has his arm out, and Dugan says, "All right, so winner gets free ale on me for the whole night."
You have anything stronger?
Well, I can mix a few things for you. We'll put it all together. I'll challenge you.
God damn it! I'm having PTSD. That poor bartender at the Crab Shack.
It's called Kevin's Challenge. I'll put one together for you. Knock your socks right off. He looks around the envelope. Yeah, no socks. Okay. Lorik, up against the anvil, says, "All right, come on. Time's wasting. The sun's down already. Let's do this." All right, so Septus, what I need you to do is you are going to make 3 strength checks, and these are going to be contested against my 3 strength checks.
Okay.
Do you want a clean fight or do you want to cheat? I can tickle him.
I mean, he can use whatever he has in his arsenal. Nope. Oh, well, that was 4.
Septus only rolled 3.
Really?
Yeah, I rolled 3.
Oh shit! I'm looking up at Smith's Arcana check. My apologies. Okay.
Are you rolling, Lucas?
I am. I'm rolling now. Wait, what the fuck is going on? Okay, sorry. There we go. Is it showing? There we go. Okay, good. So, the first round, he's like you without even really, putting much effort in, sets him down, and you slam his hand into the anvil. You kind of hear he has these rings on his finger. They kind of clack off of it. And you see he goes, fuck, my elbow slipped. Damn piece of, it's all wet from the sweat. Takes his shirt, wipes it off. Says, all right, next one. Places his arm down. This one, you get a formidable fight against him. This goes on for a few minutes while the two of you are practically locked in on each other. One of you trying to push the other one as hard as you can. You're slowly starting to feel yourself giving on this round. While this is going on, make me a perception check.
Okay. I got an 11.
While everyone's eyes are on this arm wrestling, you notice on the ground a glint of silver that catches your eye as the rogue you are. There appears to be a small silver locket laying on the ground. at people's feet that they haven't noticed.
I want it.
Okay. Yeah, just you can go over and take it.
I just take it like no sleight of hand, no anything like that.
I would say that your natural stealth is more than adequate, that nobody notices. Again,
Everyone distracted.
with the whole commotion going on, nobody's really paying much mind.
I'm definitely taking it.
As you go forward and you reach down for it, you look up and you realize that there is a small figure kind of moving through the crowd down at your eye level, and you catch a glimpse of a pointed ear, green-skinned figure reaching into the pocket of somebody and taking out a coin from their pocket, and they just look over at you and their eyes go wide as your eyes meet.
I give the same shit-eating grin as I always do, and I just slowly hold up the silver locket I just got.
He puts his thumb up, puts the coin into his pocket, and then moves away from you. But you can see that he undoes the drawstring on somebody's coin pouch as he's walking by.
As he's walking away, if we're still looking at each other, I just want to mouth, "We'll talk later, either at the tavern."
He gives you a thumbs up.
And you said he pulled the string off of a coin purse as he walked by?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that.
All right, so for that one, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
I get advantage.
You do.
26.
Oh yeah. No, everyone is still locked in on the arm wrestling between Lorik and Cephas. So Cephas, you are, as this is going on, you suddenly feel a bit of the metal that comprises you. It twists just enough that you lose your grip for a moment, and Lorik slams your hand down into the anvil. He looks at you, has this big shit-eating grin, goes, "Yes, that's a point for me. One more, you oversized furnace, and that'll be it."
I appear to be malfunctioning.
Well, hopefully you function better on this one. So, he reaches out his hand, and the two of you interlock once again. Again, your might is fairly well matched. You are seeing sweat drip from his head. He's looking at you square in the eyes. He goes, "Oh, you got some power in you there. I got to say, I'm impressed." He says, "So, what brings you to the town?"
I don't know, my headset's going funny.
Oh, you're good.
Oh no, he sounds like a normal person.
He sounds like a dude.
He sounds like a dude.
The metal,
Dude
the
is
metal
another
broke
dude.
the voice box. Oh no, next we'll be speaking Spanish.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Cephas.
Alright, I think I'm reconnected now.
All right. So yeah, like I said, he as he has his hand up, he looks at you and says, "I'm impressed. So what brings you to Lylon?"
Just here on adventures with my traveling companions.
Oh, I see. Traveling adventure, are you? Well, I got to say, that sword you carry with you, it's of good make. Maybe after this I can take a look at it, see if I can improve it a bit. You know, for a coin, that is.
Upgrades are very much appreciated.
Well, then we will see who wins this. Maybe you'll get a discount if you can beat me. While this is going on, Albina, as you come up to the crowd, you see your comrade Cephas locked arm in arm with this burly dwarf, resting over top of an anvil, and you don't see your squirrely, wily little rogue companion anywhere to be seen. But as you are, going about and kind of taking in the sights and scene, you see that from inside the tavern comes out a woman carrying a large tray of drinks. It looks a little flustered and is, going up to people and handing them drinks, taking some coin. You can hear one guy go, who the fuck stole my coins? Oh, they're everywhere.
Oh boy.
But as she is handing these
You can already
off,
guess.
No, me never steals the full amount. He leaves them with some so they don't freak out. He avoids the argument.
As you're noticing this, as she hands everybody their drinks, that she is taking these out to, you see that she stops for a moment and looks down and pats at her chest. And you can see this instant change in her demeanor from flustered and busy just because there's a large crowd and she's trying to serve as many drinks as she can, to instant worry.
Oh God.
She dropped her locket or something.
Her locket's in her pocket.
No, it's in me's pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, me doesn't know about this yet.
That's very true. You don't.
Bobina doesn't even tell me has it either. But
Exactly.
you said I see her reaching. I'm gonna go over and ask her what's wrong. If she's okay.
Oh, yes. I was delivering some of the drinks to the patrons, and I misplaced my locket. I hope something didn't happen to it.
Can you describe it? I'll help you find it.
It's a small silver locket. It's not that big, and she kind of gestures, about the size of a dime. She says, it has a small clasp on it. Inside, is a very tiny gemstone. It means the world to me. It was a family heirloom.
I'll see what I can do. And I get Rafa out, and I'm like, all right, Rafa, go looking for this.
Okay.
I'll have him transform into just a little less of a frightening, bright red fiery cat. Just like a normal cat. No, a little, what do you call them? Bloodhound.
Yeah. All right, so here's what you can do.
So Rafa's a dog now?
Yeah.
It's a mimic cat thing. It can just become anything.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, here's what you can do. You can have either yourself look for this with Rafa's help, which she will give you advantage on that. And you also have the ability with Rafa. Rafa has the ability Helping Hand that gives you an additional D6 on an ability check, or the two of you can search separately amongst the crowd, each of you making a check.
Oh no, I'd rather go with my Rafa. I don't want someone to
Okay.
kick my dog out or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
So here's what we'll do. Go ahead and roll a perception check. And you're going to roll that with advantage. And you're going to add a D6 to that.
Whoops. I already rolled one. But we'll just add the D6 after.
Ow, my leg.
You are able to pocket 5 gold from that coin pouch that fell off of that one guy.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So my first one, 22 plus the 6 will be the 28. And I think the second one's
D6. It's a D6.
Oh, a D6. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's all good.
Just taking the 6.
You roll a D6, not you get a 6.
You get a D6. Oh,
well,
by the way,
I'm just taking it.
By the way, I wanted to share with you guys. But I wanted to.
You're the
Don't you-
GM. You can do whatever you want.
Don't you want
Now,
to
do I just
know?
roll 1d6 or I roll 2? Like, one for
Just
each
one.
one?
Just one.
Okay.
Yippers.
It should be going. It's taking its time.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a 6. Give me a 6. Oh, 4 is okay as
Oh,
well.
excuse me. Does that save across? It does!
Yay.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Just for reference. Oh, so you got a 4, so that's 26. Okay. Just for you guys' reference, I'm gonna link out to. I was talking about this the other day in the Discord. There's a website called Forgotten Maps. .web.app. It has interactive maps of the Sword Coast with like full-on locations and lore and stuff. Just for your own reference, I'll be using that map to like figure out distances, and like I'll be recording my own lore in there, which you won't be able to see. But it's just a really cool ass map that has a lot of bits and pieces on it.
Challenge accepted.
They also have maps of like individual towns. So for example, my players in my library game are going to Neverwinter soon, so I used it to plot some things out. Unfortunately, they don't have Phandalin nor Lylon, which I think is a crime, but I have been talking to the developer about it, and hopefully we'll one day be able to work with him to help him.
I'd help him.
So, but yeah, just wanted to share that out because that was the map that I shared earlier. The distance from Lylon to Inarav's tower, that little blue line, is what I was referring to. All right,
So do I see this lady before me found the locket, or we don't know yet? No.
No. So
Okay.
you scour this whole area. Rafa is sniffing around. And this woman is explaining, you know, what she is looking for. She kind of explains it. And as she's doing this, she's kind of telling where she's been. And you see that Rafa is like sniffing around and everything, and finally goes up to who you notice out of the corner of your eye as me, your roguish traveling companion, as he is walking ever so effortlessly through the crowd. And at one point you see that he goes up and kind of puts his arm around one of the people watching, and you know, is like cheering on Seftis, who's still in the middle of this arm wrestling competition.
You see him? That's my guy. You mess with us, he takes you out.
And as he says this, you know, he kind of gives him a pat and then like swings around, but you see a flash of a coin come from Me's hand, and Rafa goes up and like kind of sniffs around and like comes back over to you and is like looking confused because it has been unable to locate this locket.
I'm curious what Albina thinks as she's watching me essentially rob people left and right.
She
like
kind
I
of
said,
expects that.
He doesn't take all of their money. He takes a decent bit from them, but he doesn't take all of it because he doesn't want them knowing that he robbed them. He wants them to be like, oh man, I must have misplaced it, or oh, I thought I had that extra coin.
Yeah. Albina, as she sees him doing this, she gets the bright idea, like, that's right, he can find anything. She's gonna go up to me and be like, hey, and just like pull him to the side and be like,
at
can
first
you
he's
help?
very startled, thinking he's about to get in trouble.
Like, hey, well, that's none of my business there, but I'm trying to help the server. She seems to have lost a really an heirloom, a family heirloom of hers. Can you keep an eye out for it, and maybe she'll be able to reward you for it, because it
What's
seems
the
very
heirloom
important.
look like?
This silver locket. It has I think
He pulls it out of his
gem.
pocket via chain, going, "This I found it on the ground back there whenever I was doing business with the folks."
Are you willing to return it and see if she'll pay you, or I can pay you something for it? I'd hate to take
Sure,
her.
let's see what she has to offer. If it's a family heirloom, then we'll see. I won't take too much from her. I mean, the other option was going to sell it through different various ways, because what am I going to do with a dumb silver locket?
All right. Well, do you want to take it to her, or do you want me to take it over?
It would probably be best if you took it to her. Besides, I still have other jobs to attend to, as he winks to her, handing her the locket.
Albina just has this very proud feeling, and she's just like, okay, I'll let you keep going, and she turns back around and runs over.
Before she walks away, he goes, "Don't forget, you agreed that I get paid."
Yes, don't worry. All right, so she's gonna go over to Miriam and just be like, I was looking everywhere with my Mimcat, and I saw one of my friends. He is able to find it with his keen eye. She's gonna pull it out.
Nice. So you see that like her eyes light up immediately. She goes, oh my god, thank you so much. You see that she takes it and she opens it up. You can see that inside of this locket is a small but brilliant multicolored gem that kind of glints in the light from the torches around, colored all different kinds of colors. And she quickly closes it up and she puts it back on and she looks at you and says, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I was starting to get such a headache with the thought that I would never see it again. Where was it? Did I set it down? Did it fall? Did it get stepped on? What?
I imagine someone stumbled upon it and was gonna drop it off to the owner here shortly. Albina's willing to cover his tracks for him because he was kind enough to give it back.
Yay, thievery!
She says, well, I can't thank you enough. I don't have much money to offer, but if you are willing to accept it, I can cover a few rounds of ale.
Yeah, you see that man over there? He was actually the one who found it, and he's part of my
Point him
group.
out, he's stealing!
When you point over, roll a stealth check.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Oh, thank God it was a nat 20 for a 32.
Okay, now do me a favor, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Also a nat 20 for back-to-back
Jesus
nat
fucking
20.
Christ.
Woo!
So, Albina, you look over, you still have an eye on me, and you're like, it was him. He was the one that found it. Me, your sharp perception hears this as you are snagging a gold coin from somebody's pocket. You are able to quickly manipulate that in your hand and like twist around this patron. And Albina, you are now pointing at one of the ale drinking patrons of the establishment.
No, you have to explain
I'm just
that
gonna be
wasn't...
like, you know what? Maybe he went to the restroom, but I'll bring him over to you and I'll let you know so that he can know about the free rounds.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I will remember you assuredly. She kind of like looks you up and down, seeing your cleric armor and all of your glean. She says it would be hard to forget such a figure.
I just move my braid back and just say, it's Albina, nice to meet you.
I was gonna say, Lucas, upon failure, I was instantly gonna use a reaction and expend one of the slots and just become incorporeal.
Fuck yeah, dude. The bartender waitress holds out her hand, and kind of curtsies as she does it. She says, "Miriam, it's a pleasure to meet you."
Well, let me know if you need anything taken care of. I'm pretty good with my sword, and if anyone gives you any trouble here, I'll come over and put them in their place.
She, as you say that, she kind of gives you a bit of a wink. She says, "Is that the only thing you're good at?"
Ho, ho, ho.
As she gives you a bit of a wry smile, and kind of like wisps away into the crowd with her tray.
Albina's just kind of like, better go tell, let me go flustered and trying to find me and let him know about his free drinks.
All right.
And she'll throw in, I don't know what that thing would be valued at, so she'll just give him 10 gold.
Give
Of
me
her
10
own,
gold?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll let him know, she didn't really have anything she could give you, so add 10 gold and I'll subtract 10 out of me.
Oh, no. If you're telling me that he has free drinks, keep in mind he waged war with the lizard folk for ale. He's
True.
fine with free drinks.
True. That's very true.
Okay, good. So you can just say no thanks to the gold.
Yep, that's literally it. You said free drinks, and he blatantly ignored the fact that you were going to hand him 10 gold. He's like, I can drink however much I want. He didn't hear the part of a few free rounds. He heard the part of free drinks all night.
I'll just say, just tell Miriam you talked to Albina. She'll know what to do, and she's a nice young lady.
All right. While you guys are talking to each other, all of a sudden you hear boom, this loud kind of ringing sound that silences the whole crowd. And as you look over, you see that Seftis has slammed down the dwarf's arm on the anvil. And the entire crowd explodes in cheer as they watch as Lorik takes his hand back and goes, "Oh, son of a bitch, that hurt! Oh, damn, you got a strong arm on you there." Oh.
You too. I was impressed with your strength.
Oh, boy.
So,
What was your
not
last
quite
roll?
as good as mine.
My last roll for that was a 12, and he got a 14.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be winning that one.
Yeah,
didn't
no,
either.
that was the thing. Your first one was you got a 19, he got an 8, then I got a 22 and you got a 21, and then he got a 12, you got a 14. So just kind of having it like the two of you going at it in the background. You were really holding your own against him. He stands up. He has this big smile on his face as everybody's coming over and cheering, and he says, "Well, fuck, guess that means the ale's on you then." And Dugan comes up, says, "Well, the ale's free for both of you." Says, "Everybody here is having a good time, and good times means more drinking. So we're going to be doing well tonight. So drinks for the both of you."
Yay! 2 members of the party get free drinks.
Success.
Scepter just taps his ring. You said it was light blue before, didn't you? His ring.
Yeah.
He just keeps tapping it to see if he can change the color.
As you tap it, you see that it like slowly is starting to turn a little bit green. But Lorik looks at you and says, "Well, big guy, I'm gonna be taking this," and he lifts up the anvil. Says, "I gotta be heading over to where I'm setting up shop around here. Why don't you come over and we can chat whenever you have time?"
I will make a point to do that.
Good to hear. And he will explain that he is setting up shop. I don't have a token for him. Let me see if I can throw one together real quick. Ooh. I have like one website that I use, and I always fucking forget what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Yep.
And then.
A little bit.
No, and then.
Yep, just a little bit.
Phenomena.
Ba-ba-ba-da-da.
Phenomena. But yeah, I guess as we're walking back to the tavern of Smith's with you, he's gonna talk to him and be like, "Hey, since we're going to the tavern, can I get my jug back?" I promise I'll behave.
What did you ask for? Your junk? I just have your flask, right?
Yeah, that's what he's asking for.
It's not a flask. It's
an alchemy jug.
Yeah, it's an alchemy jug.
Oh damn.
Of never ending mead.
Yeah, it's you basically speak you speak what you want there to be in it, and it makes that.
Doesn't it have to be empty in order for it to refill with something different?
Hold on.
I could be wrong on that, but
alchemy jug. Here it is. Yeah. So, the specifics of it is that you can use an action to name one liquid from the table below and cause it to produce the chosen liquid. Afterwards, you can uncork the jug as an action and pour that liquid out, up to 2 gallons per minute. But for beer, it's a maximum of 4 gallons. Once the jug starts producing a liquid, it can't produce a different one or more of that, or more of one that has reached its maximum until the next dawn. So you made that the night before at the wayside. It could make more now.
Gotcha.
So it can make any liquid?
It actually has a specific list. I will post that in the chat just for your reference.
I might be holding on to this.
Fuck you.
It's like, I found this on the ship. It can make me beer, and you're like, I imagine Smith has probably heard about these in his travels, and it's just like it's like a fucking alchemy jug. You've been holding on to a fucking alchemy jug. Do you understand how much mayonnaise I can make with this?
You've been using it for beer?
You say mayonnaise?
It can make 2 gallons of mayonnaise.
I am not using another alchemy jug for mayonnaise.
Instead, make 2 gallons of ranch.
Yes, ranch.
No.
Oh my god, that would be awful. A jug of ranch.
No. I will burn it. I don't care. I will burn it. I will destroy it.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
He just makes 2 gallons of gasoline and tells Seth to drink up.
No, I would drink it and then light it on fire. Or at least have Smith light me on fire.
I would imagine Smith would consider changing what's in there and handing it back. Like, yeah. If he doesn't keep it, I would keep it.
And
I know, right?
I'll think about it. I'll think about giving it back.
You just gives you that look of like, how dare you keep my shit?
Hey, look at that. Now there's a token for Miriam as well.
Oh, how lovely.
I can make fucking tokens so much faster now because okay, I never brought this up from any of my other games. So Encounter Plus, the VTT that I use is glitched. Will not let me make tokens for D&D like to actually put into the VTT. But since I use Dropbox for everything, I can just make tokens and bring up the little like Dropbox widget and just drag and drop them into there, and they just make items. And the only shitty part is that they're local to that map, so I can't like move them around. But it works for what I need.
Good.
Those have to be local to that map.
What the fuck?
So yeah, you can for Cephas's knowledge and for the rest of the party, you guys can see where Lorik is to the north of the map. He is like the northwest corner of the map. That is where he's setting up his blacksmithing shop.
Okay.
I was trying to find him.
Yippers.
That's Aubrey.
Yep, just to the left of Aubrey's. All right, so we'll say at this point, the evening has carried on a bit, and the party is now starting to come together at the inn. Everybody is now down there together.
Are we just saying Iluna did her visits and skim over it?
Well, no, that's actually what I was gonna get to next. I'm just trying to get everyone together. Where you said you wanted to go over and speak with Sadie and Thistle and them, right?
Well, Marigold first,
Okay.
but it's super brief.
Okay. You walk up to the Temple of Lathander. There is a number of people in there, and you can see though up towards the one corner of the temple is Marigold, Brightshine, Tolbin Stonehill, Zeline Varnaster, and you can see that they are standing next to what appears to be a very well produced and manufactured coffin that has a cloth draped over it with the symbol of Lathander on it.
I guess you would walk in and with kind of solemn and somber face seek out Lathander or oh my goodness, Marigold first. Where is he at?
Okay. Yeah, like I said, he's right up towards the front. And he is standing next to the other two. And you can see that when he sees you walking in, he kind of makes a gesture over towards Zeline and to Tolbin, kind of pointing you out. And they give you a wave over.
I just came to stop by to see. Well, I wanted to ask Marigold about his bloom crawler. I gave you one.
Yes.
And I think she gave him like a little pot, so I don't know if he would be successful in tending to it.
Wait, say that again?
Were you successful in tending to him?
Well, I must admit, I'm not one of a green thumb, but one of my acolytes has taken quite a shine to the little creature. There we go. Here's the church. It says, I have taken quite a liking to the little creature, but my acolyte has been caring for it and tending to it. Said that he enjoys the companionship.
They are lovely, fascinating little creatures.
They are. He's quite a special lad, I must say. He came to us not too long ago, but has been taking in the teachings of Lathander, and I believe that the small plant creature will be providing him with great companionship. He unfortunately has, not too long ago, come to experience the death of an animal that he cared for. So I am seeing to it that he has this opportunity to find that care and that companionship.
Well, that's very generous of you. The bloom crawler isn't here then?
No, it would be over with him and his family.
Okay. Well, I'll probably just leave them to be. It's good to know another one survived. Hopefully he makes a good companion.
Oh, I can assure you he was quite hurt over the death of his previous companion. The boy helped raise a pig, but
I knew it.
unfortunately the family was in need of the food that it would provide. So, seeing an opportunity to spread the knowledge that Lathander teaches of life and renewal and birth, the concept that this plant is able to explain to him that there is a sense of renewal. Through loss we have gain. It is only when we lose that we can truly garner anew. It is only when the sun sets and the moon rises in Saloon's grace that we may have Lathander's birth in the morning here in his temple, in his house, the Morning Lord himself.
I'm sure you inspire him every time he comes to visit.
Yes, and his following in the faith is, I assure you, will one day lead to a strong connection of belief. Maybe one day he might follow in the footsteps of myself, or possibly in your friend that you introduced me to, Miss Adabra. We have been having some wonderful talks these past few hours.
Perhaps he will follow in the light or become a healer. Yes. Adabra really knows her stuff. I'm sure she'll make a great addition to this town. And Iluna would walk over towards the coffin, and who's there? Zeline and Torvald, and just kind of pay her respects. She did want to check in on Maggie and say, to Marigold, you've placed her in a fine spot. This was better than I was imagining.
Or you said you were saying this to Marigold?
Yeah, because last she spoke, she said she had a body that needed looking after.
And he says, yes, well, the unfortunate circumstances that your friends find themselves in with their deceased daughter is in immeasurable pain. Can only imagine the pain that they feel. But here at the temple, we were able to provide menial comfort with such a garment. They said something along the lines that you will be... Or sorry, you told him that you were going to the temple, right? I blanked on that just now.
I told him we were taking her. Probably.
Okay.
I know I told her we were taking her.
Okay,
to, yeah, because he was suggested like a burial, and she was like, "Oh no, we're gonna
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I knew that he knew. In my mind, I knew he knew. I just didn't know if he knew through you or through them. Okay, he says, yes, well, with, as you were saying, taking her to the Temple of Restoration, it is, I must say, a noble journey. I wish you all the best. They have said that they will be joining you as likewise another member of her family, believe an uncle, they said.
Yeah, an uncle is probably the best descriptor.
Well, it is...
We learned his existence, coincidentally.
I see. Well, then it is good that that is the case. It is better to have more of her family there, that they are able to provide that connection to the material plane when you rip somebody from the immortal coil. It is an arduous process, as I have experienced only once. But it is a powerful ritual. I'm sure you will do well.
Experienced this before?
It was a long time ago, but I have visited the Temple of Restoration. Did my did my computer crash?
Well, yeah.
It started to, but you're
Okay.
still here.
Whew.
Like you cut out and everything.
Yeah, I think it's because I was loading a PDF at that moment, and everything that I have open, like my 15 or so, like Google Chrome tabs.
So you clicked on a 500 terabyte zip file that just instantly kills everything. It
I opened a
touches.
10-page PDF, and my computer said, "All right, that was enough. Okay, relax, pal." But he says, yes. When there was a time when I had visited the island, we had the unfortunate death of a high-ranking member of our church at the hands of a horrid necromancer. We wanted to bring him back then and there. We had already ended the life of the necromancer, but unfortunately, he had a curse placed upon him by the necromancer. Our only option was to go to the temple, perform the ritual, and see to it that we severed that connection. He kind of like looks up at the stained glass of the sun above him and says, "Necromancy is a horrific and terrible curse." What am I hearing?
Hey, what are we listening to?
Oh, I'm hearing something from Jared's mic. Okay, woo.
Sorry, yeah.
No, you're fine.
noise
You're
because
fine.
watching TV.
I thought it was like I thought it was like my TV or something.
Nope, you're all good. I keep forgetting to put the headset part up since
You're
people
fine.
are home.
You're fine.
So you were I guess you should follow his gaze to wherever he's looking at and turn back and ask him, you were successful then?
We were. We rejoined the vessel and the soul. It was a joyous occasion.
It was good to know. Good to know you had success. We're
Yes.
hoping for the same. And I guess you'd walk towards this, or oh my goodness, Celine and Tolden.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I don't know. And tell them he's put her in a rather nice vessel. I hope you've been well taken care of.
Tolben looks at you and says, "Oh yeah, no, it's beautiful, right? I mean, it's got the whole thing on it. You know, I think he said that was symbol of Lathander and all. And I mean, I don't really pray much. You know, I've been, you know, in the recent days. Marigold here has been very accommodating. Said he's got some beds we can stay at here. You know, before we leave, been, you know, nice enough to offer that.
Right.
Yeah, but we're managing, you know. Zaleen here's my rock. You know, she's the one that's helping me keep together. And you see Zaleen just kind of nods and says, "Yes, well, one of us needs to not be an emotional wreck in such a tumultuous time."
Yeah, I'm sure you help each other. And
Yes. Well, you know, it is not the first time I have seen my family murdered. She kind of like gives like a glance over to you, Iluna.
Well, this her demise was an accident.
Yes. Yes, her demise. 'Twas an accident.
We are hoping to take her probably tomorrow. I have to speak with our group to be certain. We await our transport to arrive. Hopefully it will be here in the morning.
Well, we will be here. The sooner, the better.
How many
Now,
days
Agreed.
have gone by in game? Sorry.
since when?
Since we gave the gentle repose.
That was...
I know I mentioned I wanted to make sure I kept it like in the back of my mind. So Albina's like just tallying days off, I guess.
That was session 68, 70, because 68 was 68 was you guys traveling back. Or wait, no, 68 was on arrival, numerous orcs. And then 69, nice. Yeah, I think it was around like session 70. So that would have been about 3 days.
Oh, okay, so we still have some time.
Yeah. Cause because you guys left Axholm in the morning, rested once in Phandalin, got to the wayside, and then traveled here. So yeah, like about 3-4 days. So you got time.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
2 days?
It
You said
is
session 70?
for gentle repose, it's 10 days.
I thought you said it was session 70.
Session 70 was the day that you guys went in, like, and saw that she was dead. Yeah, it was the 15th of Kythorn, so that would have been the day she died. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, 2 days.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, 2 days. Yeah, you're on your third.
Okay. I thought it was fewer.
Well, that's good. I just want to make sure it wasn't close and didn't want to forget to mention it.
But we hopefully should be traveling soon. And I just wanted to stop by briefly. And she would say her goodbyes. I think she would try to give them hugs, but try to read how that looks.
Tobin definitely accepts the hug. He kind of embraces you and says, "Oh, Aluna, I gotta say, you know, I know a lot of the folks that traveled here. You know, they didn't speak too kindly about you Phandalin Five and all. And well, I mean, I know that there's been some troubles around here, but shoot, ever since you folks showed up, well, I met this wonderful woman." He gestures over to Zelene, and then says, "And I met this wonderful, beautiful little girl. You know, it feels like I got my family back. And so I gotta say, I appreciate you. I appreciate you folk and what you've done. You brought joy back into my life, and I know you'll do right by me."
Well, we were glad that Maggie was able to have a new family. It is severely unfortunate that time was cut so short and time so fleeting.
Yeah.
She deserves a second chance. And she can reunite with her uncle who helped raise her. Hopefully.
Well, Hopefully.
You've spent any more time with Reggie then? Or Reginald?
Well, he's been out there trying to get the wagons all set up and talking to that young boy that showed up in town, and I think they're down there by the southern entrance. But yeah, I'm gonna let him know about shipping out tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you. And she'll nod to Zelene.
She
Maybe
nods
put out
back.
a hand. I don't know.
She looks at you. She says, "Yes. The pleasantries are enough."
And gives a pleasant wave to Lathander. I'm just assuming he wandered off a little bit.
Yeah,
Like-
he bows
and leaves.
Okay.
Looking for where she thinks everyone might have gone to.
Okay. You can see.
I mean, like hoping to find Thistle and whatever, just to see if they're still settling in. But
Well, that's if you want to if you want to say search around, you can just give me a perception check.
because I don't know. I don't imagine she. Oh my goodness, where? Click. Oh, there it goes. Man, that wasn't very good.
All right, so yeah, I'll say that you're able to see that there's a building just up the road from the temple that you can see Barthen's wagon is parked in front of.
Okay, she would just go to find Thistle and Sadie and see how they're doing.
Well,
briefly.
actually, as you open up the door, you see that it is just Thistle, Ander, and Barthen, Elmar Barthen.
Okay.
You see Elmar says, "Oh, good evening. How are you finding yourselves here today?"
I was just checking to see you've settled in. I did Sadie help you out much?
Yes, lovely little girl. She was here for a little while, helping Thistle move some of the stock in. Said that at the hour she must return to, I believe his name was Mr. Elebro.
Yes, I was just there. I guess we missed each other in passing.
Yes, she left not too long ago.
She would look mostly towards this one, say we might be leaving in the morning to take Maggie to that special island in the special temple.
Okay. Okay, so I'll have a chance to say goodbye to her tomorrow then.
We can make sure you have a chance to say goodbye.
Thank you. I
We'll
appreciate that.
hopefully be reunited with her in a few days.
Yes, that is my hope.
Was she gonna say something?
No, you see that she's still very much filled with emotion. Ander goes over, kind of like, puts his hand on her shoulders, and he's like, "Hey, it's fine. Just go lay down. It's been a long day." And he looks back over at you and says, "Yeah, we'll be over in the morning to see you guys off. Also, let everybody know it's going to take a couple days, but probably by the time you get back, we should have things mostly up and running to resume business. Luckily, this building was from a previous shop that had closed some time ago. So we got lucky with that one.
That's very good news. I don't take much of your time. Hopefully, it looks like you're starting to settle in.
We're getting there. Yeah, Trover's Post will be open soon enough.
And I look forward to it. Maybe every time we come back, we'll make sure to stop by.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we got to get some money rolling.
Well, I will see you guys around. Well, did he send Thistle away? I was gonna say she would try to give Thistle.
No. Yeah, he just told her to like go relax and to lay down. He wasn't like, shoo, don't talk to the elf. It was mostly that he could see that her emotions were welling up again, and he was just trying to tell her to like go take a breather.
Oh, we'll do everything we can, and she'll give her a gentle hug.
Okay, yeah, she reciprocates. All right.
I'll see myself out.
Cleo. So with that, we'll say head over to the tavern. All right. As you step in, there is a fair bit of drinking going on. Excuse me. And to those that are in there, excuse me. You guys see Iluna stepping in as she is, you know, as the rest of you have been here for a bit, you know, having your ales. They have been free for Cephas and me, but they have also been free for Albina, as Miriam keeps coming by, bringing her some ale personally.
Iluna would greet everyone. Are you all together, or are you all in little separate? Is everyone together? No? Okay.
It's a great question if somebody would answer.
Sure.
Am I there yet?
Yes, you've been there.
Have I gotten my flask back yet? Or my
No.
alchemy jug?
No, I have not given it back yet.
Why?
Because you make bad decisions.
We're making excellent decisions. I got the barkeep's locket back. Septa's arm wrestled a guy. The barkeep, I think, is trying to flirt with Albina. Hey, it's great. Everything's great. He says this while he drinks more.
Yu's kind of sitting in a corner, pouting by himself, wanting to be left alone.
No.
Understandable.
Okay, Iluna would try to let me or Albina, me and Cephas know about the whole deal with Galio. But if they're not sitting together, I don't know who she would go see first. Albina, I guess.
God, just for the sake of simplicity, everyone is within earshot because I don't want to do this.
No, I'm not gonna talk round and round.
Yeah, we'll have one conversation and everyone is aware of it.
They somehow all hear it.
Yes.
You hears nothing.
Well, you already knows, so she's unconcerned. But let everyone know the general information about Galio's request and how much he'll pay, and he suggests Griselda might be the best source for those cuffs. I think that's everything. and see if she can get herself a drink that's a bit lighter.
Okay.
If anyone.
So this establishes that right now everyone is aware that Galio Elibro is offering a task to go and investigate Inariv's tower to the south and clear it out of bandits for the price of 1,125 gold.
25? I thought it was 55.
Me sits there and ponders for a bit, and he goes, "We would have to do this now before we set sail in the morning." He groans
Possibly.
slightly, and he goes, "I suppose."
It's 1,125 or 165 per person. There's 7 of you. So there you go.
Yes, including our Iggy. So yeah, we've got this option to do before or after Maggie's.
And just for reference, keep in mind, it is a 2-day journey down there. So 2 days down, 2 days back.
Past the Mirror of Dead Men, which hopefully is safer to travel now since we have that accord with the or agreement or something. So
All
anyone
me sees is this probably needs handled probably tonight or before they set sail, because God only knows what the bandits will do within those 2 days.
anyone else's thoughts? Iluna would be most concerned about Albina's thoughts considering Maggie. She's still sitting there. I just visited with her.
Wait, can you repeat
Albina?
that?
Repeat what?
All I heard is she's still sitting there, and then my
Well,
name.
Okay, Iluna came and reminded all of, or not reminded, told you all about the deal with Galio to go down 2 days down, 2 days back up. And it seems like it's probably better to do that first, but we have Maggie. So we would get back to Elibros. Or Galio, it's the same person.
Oh yeah, Albino definitely wants to take care of Maggie first, even if it would be delaying for Mr. El Libro.
Also consider,
I figured.
Iluna, consider that Tolben and Zaleen have the expectation that this will be happening tomorrow as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll let her know that. I just saw them. I'm just not trying to have the same conversations again.
No, I understand.
So most of the stuff that she's done, you all kind of know now.
Yeah. So.
And if we're going down to do this, clear out the bandits thing, or if we're going to do Maggie in the morning like everyone expects. And we didn't make any promises to Galio. We just told him we'll find out.
Yeah, that's the main reason I mentioned out of character that if we were gonna decide as a group, because I want to take care of Maggie.
Like Iluna leans towards Maggie. Stacy leans towards going to the bandit. So
All right, so I got a running tally right now of Maggie first or Tower first, And we got Albina.
Honestly, Albina's not even sure she wants to do this tower, but if the majority rolls, then she'll go to help with the tower.
So we got Albina and Iluna on the side of doing taking Maggie to the island first. And me said he would want to do the tower first.
Me
Or-
made it a point that if they're doing the tower, we are doing it tonight, not tomorrow, as we have to set sail tomorrow.
It's a 2-day.
It's a
Trip
2-day
to-
journey.
Yeah, it's 2 days, so it wouldn't be even.
Oh, to the tower in the south. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
then
It
he's
must
all
be-
for setting sail. He doesn't care.
Okay.
He hasn't done a ship in forever.
He's drunk.
Like,
He's drunk. So he's like, we'll do it tonight. Fuck it.
Now.
Fuck it. We'll do it now. It's like, it's
Let's
2
pack up the
days.
crew. Pack up the crew. We're going to finish the tower right now. We'll
He's
get
like,
rid of those
"It's 2
pandas.
days, I'll make it half a day. Just watch me.
It takes 4 hours. We're
I'll
done.
be the-
Let's go.
Parting
We
this
will be
season,
back here before the moon is at its highest peak.
redirecting the flow while we're flying down the water.
He proceeds to instantly vomit.
Ah. All right.
So that's 3. Septus, do you want some money? Or do you want to help Maggie?
No, I'll do the boat thing.
He's like, I want to be a pirate.
Me's content with the money he has that nobody else knows about yet.
Oh, excuse me.
Let's go.
I'm voting for Maggie.
I guess we're all in.
Wait, what?
Me's now pondering how can he mount Septus to the front of the ship like a ship mount and have him breathe fire.
Jesus Christ.
Lord.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as Griselda and Lenine let us leave.
Well,
Then we'll-
speaking of that, as you say this, a kind of older male dwarf walks into the tavern. He is wearing these finer blue and purple garments. You can see that on the front of his what's the word I'm looking for? Tabard, that it has a symbol on it that appears to be a hammer with scales coming off the side of it. I would say everyone go ahead and make me a religion check.
Religion's
As the religious
0.
man that me is,
That's right.
I rolled a 4.
Cool.
Used
You
pretty
have
religious.
inspiration.
I was gonna say,
no,
is there
wait.
no chance to use a? We're
Oh,
gonna
that's
go
a good
long-
point. I'll use the inspiration
For
die
our
before I go to bed
inspiration.
and use it.
That's
I'll use mine
okay,
up too
that's
because
a 3.
apparently
Cool.
my religious sucks right now. All right.
Um,
Oops, I just accidentally rolled the wrong one.
I mean,
There
the
we go.
DC wasn't high.
Oh, goddamn.
But
we all
goddamn.
missed it.
It's okay. Even Albina, who has a +4, got a 6. But I used
know.
my inspiration up. We're good.
All right,
Oh,
let's
no,
see.
don't give me
Best I can offer
A
is
1.
a history
I got a
check.
23. That's all I care.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't even seen,
Albina's just so
oh.
flustered by being hit on by
Yeah,
By,
Miriam.
that Albina can't even focus.
Yeah,
She's just
Miriam
like,
walks.
what? Huh?
Miriam walks over. She kind of like leans forward a little bit as she's setting another mug of ale in front of Albina, and you can see that she's kind of leaning forward in such a way that her dress is a little more exposed. You can see the silver pendant that's hanging down from it as she's handing it to you, and she says, "Oh, you finished with? Let me get you another one."
I think
Oh.
Iluna would try to get her attention, like she wanted something other than ale. There wasn't anything.
Oh, what do you want?
Something lighter, a tea maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say Albina's gonna pass her drink over to me and just say, unsweetened iced tea, please. She
What the
wouldn't
fuck
be
is
drinking
ice?
much.
What is ice?
Oh, sorry.
Unsweetened frozen mug tea.
Yeah. I always
Frozen
like
mug
get this thought in my mind of like in-home ice was like not really a thing in like a lot of like, you know, old world high like medieval times, but it's
Yeah.
like this is also a world that has a spell literally called ice knife.
So much magic,
Yeah.
but they can't have ice.
She says she looks over at Iluna as she says, okay, and then she looks over
nice.
at Albina whenever she says, she's like, of course, anything.
That sounds. what she's
Do you want the
having sounds
same?
like- Please.
Okay, you'll have what
We're
she's
in the
having.
Same party.
Albina's half tempted to make Rafa into a scarf to put around her neck.
So as you are glancing over, I'm gonna say, yeah, Smith and you and Cephas, actually, the three of you recognize the symbol on his garment as that of the god Tyr, who is the god of justice, and is also known as the maimed god. And something that you notice about this dwarf as he kind of scans the room and looks around, you realize that he is missing a leg, and that he wears a black glove on one hand and a white glove on the other. And as he scans the room, he looks over to the corner where you is sitting alone pouting.
Oh, they called the executioner.
And he walks over and looks down at you and says, I assume that you are the one that has been accused of murder.
Oh, wait, that's me. Yes.
Fine.
Shut up.
He pulls
I heard
out.
Derek laugh right before he muted his mic.
He pulls out a piece of paper and says, your presence is requested at the council hall meeting in the morning.
But I don't have a present to give back.
You.
That is I.
From the background, you just hear, "I's dead."
The
He was a
system
great
of
pirate,
justice
Captain.
will find you accountable. I will be the one handling your judgment tomorrow morning.
I'm sorry.
How can we explain to the judge that he's really stupid besides how he's just acting now?
He looks
And he
around. Oh, good.
I was in. He hasn't even been drinking.
I know. He looks around the room and sees the others that have been described to him and walks over to the rest of the party and says, hello, my name is Vangel Kostolk. I will be the one delivering justice against your comrade tomorrow morning. Your presence is requested, as your words will be used in his favor. I want you to understand that this is not going to be the end of the trial, simply the beginning.
Me is snickering to himself after he introduced himself.
I think Iluna would just give this heavy, heavy sigh. Like, she just got in this tavern. She's telling people about transporting their dead body and helping fight off bandits. And she just will be there.
Thank you.
Thank
Your
you for
presence is
letting us
requested
know.
at first light at the council hall meeting.
Thank you for letting us know.
And he, with that, he storms out of the tavern.
As he leaves, me is still sitting there snickering, and he goes, "His name's Costcock."
It's Cuss Colt.
He's drunk. Or an asshole. Probably both.
Probably both, yeah. Yeah, I'm alright with both.
No, probably less drunk, more of an asshole, because he has a meeting with somebody tonight.
Alright, so after he leaves, you, in your hand, you have a piece of paper that expressly says that your trial will begin at first light on the 18th of Kythorn, which is the next day, and that your presence is requested at the Lylon Council Hall meeting. If you are not to show within the first hour of first light, that a bounty will be placed on your head that will be of the express privilege of Neverwinter's finest to garner. But that if you show, the penalties and fines will be lessened considerably, as your life will not be in your own hands.
Okay. Can you put that in chat so I remember?
Yeah.
'Cause I had a smart comment for that because he's gonna write on the paper, but I forget what the first part of it was.
All right. Yeah, I'll put it in later. I'll have to type the whole thing out. All right. So with this, it is fairly late in world. It is about 11 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like 10, 11 o'clock. So,
Man.
what do you guys want to do? Do you want to continue hanging out in the tavern for a little bit? Go up, get some rest?
Light
Go get some
activity.
rest.
As Smith does air quotes.
What? Oh, I forgot.
Go get some rest.
Rest.
Yes.
Does Seftis sleep or does he just like meditate? Like just
It's kind of the same
Power.
thing. Yeah, it's a sentry mode.
okay.
Can I short rest beforehand? Before I head out?
You can short rest here. Yeah, because you have another 2 hours.
Mhm.
So go on, Stacy.
Oh, you started asking about Seftis before.
Go on.
Oh,
Go on.
Yeah.
I feel like Iluna might want to talk to me if he's not busy.
I think he's just drinking.
He's just, oh no.
Who
That
does
might
she
not-
want to talk to?
You.
Me?
Oh,
no,
you?
she wants to talk to me.
I hate everyone.
There's a reason I started that. Yeah, Me's just kind of drinking, patiently waiting for a person, and waiting for everybody to start to go to sleep, because he always sleeps in the common room for reasons.
Reasons. She just wanted to ask him about you. She's concerned about his intense reaction with the book. And if anything, but if he's drunk, he's probably going to give the weirdest responses. Or if she looks drunk, she might just be a bit more hesitant. Like, can I talk to you for a second?
He turns to
Assuming-
her and he goes, "Yeah, of course. Have a drink. They're free."
Seemingly, I tried to get one. I'm not sure she took my order correctly.
As you say this, Miriam comes back over. She has a frosty cold glass of tea that she places in front of Albina, and then she hands one over to Iluna that is not as frosty.
Me will finish his drink as well and look at him and be like, "Can I have another?"
I think she would say, "Oh, this is perfect. I don't like it." too cold. How did you know?
It's the only glass I had. She like steps away to go help other patrons.
As she's walking away, and he's like, "Can I have another ale, or am I finally being cut off?"
Dugan yells across and says, "The fuck you getting free ale for?"
I found an item, an heirloom, something like that. Generous offer.
Miriam yells. She goes, "Oh no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'm covering his tab."
He yells back at Duke and goes, "See? Besides, my big metal buddy won the competition."
What? He won what competition?
The arm wrestling?
She wasn't
Oh,
there.
he went through
there.
he went through an arm wrestling competition, threw this dwarf pretty much straight into the ground. As he over exaggerates the story.
Well, Luna wants to believe it because, puts everyone in a better light, I guess. Of course he did.
He then leans to look at Septus to see if he's drinking ale or if it's gasoline, motor oil, or something.
It's basically a concoction of every different kind of ale that was behind the bar that's just been put into a bucket.
Ugh. But doesn't that just fill up his tank so he can spew fire later?
Doesn't have to taste good. I just want it to be strong. Infamous words. Those were his infamous words to that poor bartender.
Yeah, it well, the Kevin challenge gives you an extra D6 on your burning hands.
Anyhow, I just wanted to ask you about you and his reaction to my book. Is that something I need to be concerned about? Everyone else super curious.
He's always had an issue with talking books ever since the incident. Apparently, talking books are very rare, but whenever somebody has a talking book and then they slaughter people it tends to bring up bad memories whenever a book decides to talk again.
Because I'm hoping to use to help the party. It seems to have lots of health related help. And Lord knows we end up becoming unhealthy now and again.
Yeah, but I don't think that book can fix whatever's wrong with his mind. And
No, I just
he goes
trying
out and
to.
looks at her and goes, "If you haven't noticed, he's not the brightest of the bunch."
Yeah, well, he needs our support now, as that dude has recently left. Was
Cost
still
cock.
leaving. I don't know. But you don't know any tricks to help him be less intense around the book. Calm.
No, he just kind of does his own thing. I know tricks of how to make sure he doesn't end up in prison or to get him out, but you didn't hear that from me.
I heard nothing from you. Well, thanks. I'm just concerned about our party as a whole and
Hey, I have a question
innocent.
for you. Do you think Cost Cock is related to that weird ass weasel guy I heard about?
Fuck you. He beats his shit.
Yeah, I've heard about him too.
Go fuck yourselves.
They're probably not related though.
Yeah, I heard the one went evil.
Yeah, he did.
I've heard the longest story about him.
Supposed to be a man of the Church of the Holy Light, and here he is running around with the bad guy. Karen told us tales. I think last thing he said he became Cerberus as shit or something.
Oh my god. Well,
Best part is he was part of that campaign, and since Karen is in this one, it's canon.
there is potential crossover.
I'm sure people have wild stories about us as well, or will soon.
The entire time they're talking, me is looking around the room to see if he sees the other thief.
The goblin.
Yep.
Okay.
No, don't say goblin. I'm a goblin. We have our own word. Thank you.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Is there something catching your eye? If she's noticing him looking around, dude, I'm
Seeing
here.
if a friend shows up. Made a friend in the crowd during the whole arm wrestling match, and I told him to
Well,
meet here tonight. Just seeing if he shows up or not.
it seemed I missed out on all the excitement, but I was visiting with our friends. But thank you. And you enjoy your drink. I think she would head outside a bit before heading to bed.
Okay.
Just the whole general need some space, and outside is bigger than a room, so.
All right. So as you are looking around, there are still some folks in here. So as Iluna's heading outside before she heads to bed, what are the rest of you doing? Smith said he'd be right back, so we'll have to do his thing in a minute. Albina.
Where is the what's that guy's name? Lorik?
Oh, the blacksmith. He ventured up to where his shop is.
Yeah, I wanted to go talk to him
Oh,
about getting
sleeping.
something. Oh, is it that late? Wait, what's
It's in game. It's about 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah, never mind. It's been too late.
Okay. You can always
I'll talk to him
in the
when we
morning.
get back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Morning, yeah.
All right. So, just kind of calling it in for the night.
Yeah.
Okay. Seftus.
He sat drinking his drink. He's thinking about the song that the bards with his name in it the other day. Quite pleased about that. So he's just sat there like banging his little hand on the
Still humming to himself.
That's fucking
There's no
amazing.
tone. There's no nothing. He's completely not musical, so
Yeah.
he's just banging
But
and playing with his
but
little
somebody-
tank. He's just
somebody
jumping up
made
and
a-
down in time.
Fucking
Somebody made
amazing.
a song about him.
Sefthus the barbarian, strong and wild, swung his great sword like a wrathful child. Okay. What is you doing?
You was waiting for Septus to fall asleep.
Sefthus doesn't sleep.
But
We
he
wait in a
doesn't,
while.
so good luck.
Or at least go into sentry mode, where he is semi-unconscious.
Okay, I do want to state, granted, you may not know this. You know what? No, I'm just not going to say anything about it. Actually, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just leave it as whatever you believe.
Me believes that Seftus is on the side of who cares about the flesh bags.
All right, so while you guys are sitting there, and I'm waiting for Smith to come back, one point, you see some green skin and some long ears walk into the bar, kind of quiet, and slink along the wall, and sits up at the bar, goes up to the bar, places a gold coin on the counter, gets 2 mugs of ale, and then heads over to one of the tables and kind of like glances over at you from across the room.
Me will join him.
All right. When you sit down, he looks up at you and says, "Hey, so good. It was good pickings out there today."
Oh, that for sure. You know, it's very rare that I see another person going around, let alone another goblin.
Well, you know, you gotta do what you can to make a living, right?
Oh, absolutely. Hey,
Hey.
Later in the future, this town might have something that'll benefit us, our types of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to possibly get a operation going, a black market, if you will.
Okay, I'm listening.
I don't have all the details quite ironed out yet, but just know if you do need somewhere to stay, eventually I'll have safe passage for our types. Until then, if you need a place to hide, he'll go ahead and lean in, assuming that he would know thieves can't,
Mm-hmm.
and try to describe to him, or like just kind of show with like his nail in the wood or whatever, trying to just basically tell him about the hideout, that the old pirates hideout or whatever, the smuggler's den down under the pier, if he's not aware of it already.
Okay. He
Trying to think, what did I put in there? Wasn't it the horn of like a hearing or something?
It was, yes.
Yeah, I'll tell him that's down in there as the code. It's not a true code, but it's like you take something, you leave something, and so forth.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, honestly, I'm looking for a bit of work, if I'm being true. I don't particularly trust most of these folks around here, but, you seem like the right kind of person.
What kind of work are you looking for?
Anything, really. Looking to pay off an old debt of mine.
He sits there and ponders for a moment, and he goes, I have a friend in town. He might be able to offer you more, and if you say that I sent you and you're looking for work, and just kind of casually mention the type of person you are, he might be able to find something for you. His name is Aubrey. He owns the oddity shop down the road. Old friend of ours, but like I said, keep our type of business on the hush hush, but he might be able to help you out.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Me will go ahead and pull out 2 gold from his thing and hand it to him and say, this is half of what I got from the little trick that we did, so I'll at least give you half. As you did help.
Well, I was going to offer you a bit of my own, as that situation with the locket kind of, or you sneaking in, grabbing that coin pouch gave me a good opportunity, because that guy drew a little bit of attention his way. So, and that locket of yours that you were picking up, I saw that goodie over there at the other table that you were sitting with, skulking around. I was able to just kind of follow behind for a little bit. So, really helped me out, too.
Yeah, they're part of the crew and whatnot. We're setting sail, well, I guess after the court case, but details. I completely agree.
Understand. Well, it was good meeting you. And he holds out his hand, says, name's Cudgag.
Me holds out his hand and he goes, the name's me, upcoming pirate captain of the Sword Coast.
Oh, well, look at that. An upcoming pirate captain.
Hey, Jared.
Yes.
Roll.
Yep. I know, because I said pirate. I gotta... Is it still in action? It's still in action. Let's see here. Pumpkin pie.
Ooh. Yeah. You see that he kind of like is startled, jumps back. What the hell is that? Pulls out a knife.
Oh, no. The old captain cursed his hat whenever he perished. Thought it would be funny for the next person that picked it up. So now every time I say or anyone says the P word, this little thing comes out.
That's an interesting thing. Scared
The
hell
old
out of
captain
me.
was a bard. May he rest in peace, or at least giving them hell wherever his spirit rests.
Oh, yeah, that's something else, all right. Well,
You tend to get used to it.
yeah. Well, and he holds up his mug of ale and says, well, to new friends and to new adventures.
Me does the same. To new friends and new opportunities for you.
Hey. So, hey, Smith, you back yet?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll say the night moves on a little bit. And midnight starts to draw close. So we'll say that those of you that are going into the tavern to rest for the evening are there.
He sleeps in the common
I know
room.
you
and
said that you were. I know you said you were going outside. When do you go back in at all?
I don't know. Maybe not for an hour or so, but my goal isn't to like see Smith. So whatever direction. She's just seeking some quiet space. She might like just sit behind the tavern in some grass or whatever.
Okay. That was actually gonna be my next question, Smith. Do you just head out of the tavern? Do you try and like sneak out of it? Don't want to like draw attention to yourself?
I kind of sneak out.
Okay. So I know Cephas is still down there. You and me are still down there. Would Albina have gone up to rest, Hannah?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah. Smith, go ahead and roll me a stealth check if you're trying to just like quietly slink out of there. And I'm just gonna do this as against passives. Okay. So yeah. Moving quietly through there. The rest of you that are in there, Cephas, me, and you guys notice, Albina has gone up. Iluna stepped out a little bit ago, and as it's getting later, Smith steps out of the tavern. So, Smith, you head across town, and you make your way up to the House of Thalavar.
Make sure no one's following me.
One second. If anybody wants to attempt to follow Smith, tell me now and make a stealth check.
You know what? Me will look to Cephas and you as Smith steps out. Oh, and me will be like, the poor lad doesn't know the scares of night. He might get robbed. As me will go ahead and go to follow him, gesturing for Cephas and you to stay here. Mostly you, because he knows Cephas isn't going to give a flying fuck.
Okay.
Might.
All right. So Jared, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
As I'm walking out, I want to use invisibility.
Oh, you're shadow touched.
Yep.
All right.
Creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible, as long as it is on the target's person. Spell ends for the target.
Yep.
That
If the
attacks
attacker
or so
casts a
forth.
spell.
Yep.
Okay.
Really?
So-
This is the first time we're using this.
It's actually the first time he's had the ability to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is. I
Yeah.
got the ability upon leveling up, and we haven't had a chance to use it.
Yes. I will agree that that while it is so convenient that he has this,
I literally just got this ability
He's my
upon.
faithful hound as well. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
yeah. All right, so yeah.
No, they're not. Metagame wise, me's not going to care what you're doing. He's just curious.
All right, so I still need you to make a stealth check.
Yep.
You already had advantage from your Shadowfell brand tattoo.
31.
Okay. Yeah, so Smith, you did say that you were actively checking to see if anybody was behind you, but unfortunately, even if you got a nat 20, that would only be a 25 to perception. So I will say you do glance around. You don't see anybody behind you. You don't see anybody following you. But you do arrive at the House of Thalavar. There are still some lights on inside at this later hour. But you can hear some rumbling, some rustling going on in Gallio's study.
Okay, I knock on the door.
As you knock on the door, he turns around quickly and sees you standing there and says, "Ah, yes. I'm glad that you decided to come by. I assume you understood what I was referring to."
He's out of game. He was saying he's what did he say again? Something about an old friend.
He has a message for you from an old friend.
Do you have an idea which old friend he's talking about?
I'm gonna say you may. I mean, that would be to your like.
I'll just tell him I'm not sure.
He looks at you and he says, "From one mage to another, I find your school of magic evocation, correct?"
Correct.
You see, I am, even as a scribe, I am drawn to the energies that it is that you are able to wield. But I have been seeking a way to access the further planes in my endeavors. And when you were here last, your group radiated an arcane energy that excited the weave, the veil between planes. As I continued my studies, I attempted to cast a spell to allow me to contact another plane. It is not a spell that I am immediately familiar with. But after your visit, I used some of the books from Thalavar's study, and when I attempted the spell, I got some words that came to my mind that spoke of you. And he says, I tried to scribe them as quickly as I could. And he turns around on the desk, and he has a piece of paper that he hands to you.
Oh wait, we're inside, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Can I close the door as I come inside?
Sure. Yeah, you can close the door into his study.
Okay.
All right. Jared, roll me a perception check.
Okay. That's a solid 10.
Okay, cool. And he says, I was not able to hear or understand much. I'm still trying to learn the spell. But I received word. It said, and he shows it to you, and on the paper, it says, Smith. It worked. And then after that, you see the name Elaser.
Which was my mentor, right?
Yes. And then it says, 1 second. But where's my thing? What is it? Is this the one? Yes. It says, Smith, it worked. Elaser. I'm in the city of Brass. Come visit if you can.
Where's Brash?
Roll me either a history or arcana check.
Ooh.
The city of Brass is a floating city within the elemental plane of fire. And as you are reading this, Galio is looking down at it, and he looks up at you and says, is this true? Do you know of somebody who resides in the city of Brass?
I mean, he was my old mentor. He was what was he? He was working on Planet Travel, correct? Is that what he was
Yes.
doing?
Yeah, he was an elf like yourself. He was a tad eccentric, but he desired to travel the different planes, from stuff like the more tangible Feywild, his kind's glorious home plane, to the Shadowfell, the dark echo of the material plane, but had an immense fascination with the less tangible planes, such as the ethereal, the abyssal sea, and more especially the elemental planes of chaos.
Which is unrelated to where the brass is.
Yeah, the city of Brass resides within the plane of fire.
Okay. I want to know about the Planet Fire.
Roll me an Arcana check again.
Was that some? I'm assuming that's just some place I can visit.
No. Ooh, not 20. So the thing is that you actually know a fair bit about the elemental plane of fire, because the day that Elaser went missing, or you believe went missing, everyone else assumed he was dead, because you knew he was studying planar travel, and you knew that the day that all the chaos occurred at his tower, when it exploded in fire and there were fiery footprints to be found there, you knew that he was studying the plane of fire, and this is what has been kind of like your venture up until recently, joining Albina in trying to help her rid the Sword Coast area of that draconic menace. So you know quite a bit. It's basically one of the 4 elemental planes within the great cosmology. It is a plane of existence that is, for lack of a better terms, constantly on fire. So there are ways to go there. Unfortunately, most of them are high-level spells, such as Plane Shift, which is a 7th level spell, and requires a not a huge ton of money, but at least, you know, around 250 gold worth of materials. But it is home to fire elementals. It is home to like Ganassi genies, especially Ifrit, which are the fire genies. But yeah, there's different ways to try and get there, but there is also a spell that Galio was talking about, which is Contact Other Plane, which is something that allows you to connect with a creature from another plane, which is the thing that he was trying to do. And it just so happened that after your party had left, the residual arcane energy from certain members of your party allowed him to connect to the plane of fire. As Galio will explain that.
Oh wow. Yeah. And where did we last leave off with him asking me if I know someone?
Yes.
Yeah, he's my old mentor. He went missing. We were working on planar travel.
I see.
Yeah.
And he has succeeded.
So meet him in Brass? How am I supposed to do that?
The City of Brass. I have done research on this. It is a place that exists, but unfortunately I am not a powerful enough mage to attempt such a spell to traverse the plains yet. It is what I am working towards. There are other ways, though. If we somehow had an essence of the plane of fire, it could be located within a place of strong elemental attunement, a volcano of sorts, or an arcane forge. We may be able to use, if it contains an essence of the plane of fire, or possibly if there even exists a way to enter it there, and we may be able to find it. I mean, contact your friend.
An idea where? Do I have an idea? What do I need again? An essence? What?
An essence of the plane of fire.
And do I have any idea where?
Not off the top of your head, no.
Okay. So any idea where we begin to look?
Unfortunately, I'm not sure. But I think an option. Your friend, the large one, the one made of metal, he radiates an intense fire within him, correct?
Yes.
Do you know where it is that he was created? What fuels him? My mind has drifted to this ever since this has come up, and I wonder if he might be a source.
I'm assuming I don't know much about him.
I don't think you've ever really like.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I'll just say I don't know too much about him. What his origins are.
That is a shame. Unfortunately, at this moment, I don't know where we would find such a thing. But if I know your friend that visited earlier said that you were going to be heading out to sea tomorrow, I am going to do what I can to try and track something down. And if I am able to find it, I would hope that you would join me in an attempt to contact this friend of yours.
Absolutely. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. We should be back in town shortly, and we'll definitely help with your other tasks too.
Thank you. If it
by the way,
only
is there a big time rush on that? Because
the journey to the tower.
Yes.
It is something that I would rather have sooner or later, but I know that so long as there is not some cataclysmic event that would destroy the tower or the contents within it, it has sat mostly unabated for many years. I believe time is not of an immediate essence for that particular venture.
Okay. Well, we'll get to it as soon as we can.
Thank you. So me, I'm gonna say that you, for the most part, caught bits and pieces of that through the door. Mostly hearing that that there's some of this discussion about somebody that Gallio is trying to help Smith get in contact with, because as your ear is pressed up against the door, you're trying to not like press so hard that you make a noise. But it's also a fairly thick door. So I'm going to say that the most you got with that 10 on perception is that they were discussing something about going to a city to try and meet up with somebody that Smith used to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
As I leave, I kick open the door.
Throws him back.
I'm pretty sure I can hear you starting to move towards the door.
I just love that. It's like, hey, you care if I kick down this door? Yeah, no, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna kick it down anyhow.
All right.
Yeah, even if you weren't hiding behind that door, I was gonna kick it down.
You go up, you're like, oh, what the fuck? This door says kick me? All right. Okay, so with that,
kick down the door with that 0 strength, but it's better than mine with -1.
That's right. All right, so with that, I'm assuming Smith heads back to the tavern.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. All right, so you were only there for a bit. You arrived back at the tavern. We'll say that it's maybe about half an hour later.
He's gonna dispel the invisibility, but come around from the backside, so he has no idea that he was out.
Wait, come around the backside of where?
The tavern. I come in through the back entrance or whatever.
Okay, you walk around to the back. As you dispel it, you see Iluna sitting there like looking up at the sky as you are dispelling invisibility in front of her.
He'll dispel the invisibility and just look at her and be like, "Don't worry about it. Nothing happened. Nobody's dead. I just wanted to go on. I just wanted some information, and I got the information I needed."
Good to know. I'm just writing in my journal and like talking to my little creatures. And I would have been looking up at the sky, so that's a good one.
I used to keep a captain's log.
She's trying to work, I don't know, work everything
As
out.
I'm viciously scrolling up in chat to find the one joke message of a captain's log I sent to Lucas that just said, "I'm surrounded by idiots."
I really thought you were gonna send me a picture of a log with a pirate hat on it. Like, it's a captain's log.
Well, that's even better. He just pulls it. He pulls out like a stick with a small miniature paper hat on it. It's more of a captain's twig now, but you get the gist.
All right. Okay,
Lord.
so
That's what he calls his peak.
God.
I don't think I made this clear when I said Iluna let everyone know things she knew. I don't think we brought up the lore spell and costing 500 gold. And
400.
if anyone disagreed. I thought it was two.
It was 250 or 400.
Oh, 400 for two.
No. It
there's
was
two of them.
Oh, sure. Yeah, 250 a piece. It's 400 without the discount.
Yeah, but the 250 for each.
Okay.
Totaling 500 gold. Yeah, that would have been mentioned when I said, but none of us said whether we agree or disagree having those spells cast on the polymorph spell and the book to learn more about them. I mean, it's 500 gold.
What are we trying to learn about the book exactly?
Its origins. If anything.
But why?
It might indicate the powerful mage, the type of magic that was put into it. I don't know. It might indicate. I mean, because apparently it's medicine, but it also mentioned it could help me make a love potion. So maybe it could help make other potions.
Nope, only a love potion for Iggy. No one else.
Yep.
But I don't know. Whatever it learns could be helpful for the party. Maybe not. I mean, we can just so everyone knows, and if anyone has a big protest against 500 gold for the info on those two items. No.
What'd you say?
Mostly Septis, Albina and Smith. Well, Iggy too, but
Yeah, I just didn't really care that much about it.
you don't.
I'm not really big on money.
You're not big on money until you want to buy something, then.
Yeah, then he's big on money, but until that point.
Because if no one has a big protest, I guess she might consider doing that in the morning with Smith, because he wanted to know about the polymorph spell thing.
Me's gonna hold up his letter. I'm assuming Yu's with everybody, right?
Yeah. This all happened prior.
Oh.
This all happened before.
Yu's gonna hold up his letter and be like, "Don't forget we got this thing in the morning."
We'll definitely do that. They'll probably come and insist upon it.
It won't be the first time that we were outlaws and wanted by the law.
I want to say that's why you rolled so high on the religion check, because he saw the symbol of tear as like that's what like lawyers and like judges. That's what
he saw
that's
the
god
symbol
of the
of
judges.
tear, and he just went, "Oh shit, we're going to jail again."
It's like
It's not a
fuck.
religion check. It's more like a history, his past history. Anyhow, I just wanted to bring that up because it kind of just got. There was a lot that he would have said to everyone, and that would get skipped a little bit. Is it the next morning? Are we being commandeered or requested?
No, it's being that it is 9:14. I did have one more thing I wanted to do this night before we round up. So those of you that are still in the tavern, as
how much time has passed?
Since when?
Like well, I guess she'd probably be back in the tavern, especially if she saw me coming back.
Yeah, because I actually just really the last thing that I needed to address was when does Cephas go into sentry mode, and when Cephas does he go to a room?
Yeah, he'll be getting a room. He'll just be finishing his bucket of everything and retiring.
So anybody who is getting a room, just take 5 silver out of your coffers.
I offer to buy Cephas's room and share it with him.
I had the Miriam hookup. We're good.
You did. Miriam offered her room for the night to Albina.
Me is staying in the common room and seeing what he can't acquire through his job.
But
Okay.
Iluna's a little confused because she often shares with Albina.
So do I spend? It's what, 5 silver per room?
5 silver. Yep.
So if I share a room with Cephas,
it's 5 silver per room.
Okay. I'm just wanted to make sure.
It only has 1 bed. Do you want a room with 2 beds?
My guy
Cephas isn't sharing. He likes his personal space. He gets freaky.
I know he doesn't sleep.
He's just gonna sit in a corner in a chair, just watch Cephas because he thinks he's interesting.
He just wants to watch him while Cephas is
I
in
want
sentry
to watch you
mode.
while you sleep.
Cephas isn't going to sleep. He's going to be raging all evening.
Yeah.
Stood there with his sword out, staring back at him.
You staring at him with like his hand betrayed outward, ready to catch it as the Eldritch Blast. Cephas is in the other corner holding the volcanic sword pointing at him.
What a nice relaxing evening.
Yeah. The fucking Warforged going into his sentry's rest. I mean, okay, so you has paid for your room, Cephas. Are you allowing him to join you? As you know, he doesn't sleep.
No. That's creepy.
All right, well, there you go.
So just don't get down like that.
So Cephas has a room paid for by you. I'm just like morbidly curious what the fuck Aaron is getting at.
I messaged you.
He messaged both of us saying he just wants to sit in a corner changing the color of Cephas's flame. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to sit in a corner and make his flame flicker a bunch of different colors.
While he's sleeping.
Okay. Jesus Christ. The thing to remember about Cephas is you have been traveling with him for some time. He is not unconscious in his state. He is simply inert. He can see and hear as normal.
Okay. To be fair, we know this. You is an idiot.
True, you is an idiot. God. All right. Well, if there are no more shenanigans, everybody can get a long rest for the night.
Yay, I get invisibility back that only one member of the party knows I have now.
Two?
Two.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess.
two.
And then we will pick up next session bright and early in the morning as you guys will be heading off to the council hall meeting for the first part of
All right, well, I want to say this now.
Uh-huh.
You's gonna be like up super early, like 2 to 3 hours before the sun comes up.
Okay.
And he's gonna be sitting outside of where he needs to be.
Okay.
Just like kind of just twiddling his thumbs and just kind of
gets his long rest.
playing with his, minor illusion stuff. And,
That face.
but first he has to slap everybody with seaweed.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We will.
That's actually how he wakes me up to let him know that he's going to wait in front of the courthouse. Is he's slapping him with seaweed, going, "Hey, wake up! Hey."
That's fine. We will address this at the start of next session. So, to those of you watching at home, thanks for joining us. You folks have a wonderful night. Bye.
Okay.